Welcome to November and playoff football in the OUA. Ontario's Final Four will be set after today's action. Here in London, the Western Mustangs host the Laurier Golden Hawks, two teams that played here less than a month ago, with Western winning big 61-20. For Laurier, they're coming off a 1-7 season. Making the playoffs is a huge step forward for them. While going into the season, Western likely didn't expect they'd have to play a first-round playoff game. They would have liked to have the bye. Alongside Nigel Wilson, my name's Christian O'Mell. On paper, Western's the better team, and the Mustangs have already dominated this Golden Hawks team this year, but you can throw the stats out the window in the playoffs, can't you, Nigel?
You sure can. You can throw the stats out the window. The season's behind, and both these teams have 60 minutes ahead to play a playoff game, and anything can happen.
The third member of our team is John Urban on the sidelines. John.
Thank you very much, Christian. The Western Mustangs finished the regular season with a 6-2 record. They won a perfect 4-0 in the month of September, but unfortunately were .500 with a 2-2 record in the month of November. They will have to be perfection in the month of they were 2-2 in the month of October. They'll have to be perfection in the month of November. A chilly one to start it all off here on the first. It could be a battle between the kickers of Zach Medeiros and Ronnie Peffer. I was watching both kickers go to practice before this game. Medeiros was hitting 30-yard field goals into the wind. I was noticing with the wind at Peffer's back, though, he was going wide right. So we'll see if that plays a factor in this game. We'll talk about the quarterbacks and the running backs throughout this game. Back to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, it's going to be a windy one and not a warm one. Right now it's 3 degrees, but the wind chill feels more like -3, though the skies look pretty clear, no precipitation expected. For Western's D, they got to contain the run. Dylan Campbell's been a monster this season. They contained it really well, though, last time Laurier was here, and they got to protect their quarterback. They want to keep him safe.
It's payback time. Does that bother you? Does that bother you? Does that bother you? Does that bother you? Does that bother you?
It's not so fun when you're the target of rude behavior. College athletics has many traditions, but bad sportsmanship isn't one of them. Respect. It's the name of the game.
Lone Star believes that smoked ain't a flavor you add. It's a flavor you earn. That's why Lone Star trucks mesquite all the way from the great state of Texas to fire their grill. Brings a taste of chicken and steak you just can't fake with a shaker. So if that much attention goes into firing their grill, imagine what goes into the pico, the tortilla, and the rest of the fajita. Lone Star, the taste is in the details.
All right, down at midfield, Murray Drinkwalter, the head referee, will be flipping the coin here, and the wind really looks like it could be a factor. The flags are blowing pretty well left to right on your screen. And that should impact the choice you make here at the start of the game. You can see wind right now 24 with gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour today. And that kicking game could be huge, especially in the playoffs when every little bit matters.
It sure does, and both teams will certainly have to be wary of the wind, and it will have a role in today's game, there is no doubt.
Ronnie Peffer last time here against the Mustangs didn't have his best game. He was 2 of 4 here at TD Stadium. Keys of the game for Laurier is they got to get their passing game going. Once their running game last time against Western was shut down, James Fracas didn't have his best game, and Laurier lost by 41. They have the ability to go deep, and Dylan Campbell, using him in the passing game, has worked for them.
Certainly can, and I'm sure he'll rebound, and he's a good young quarterback, and they've prepared all week to be able to run and throw the ball effectively, and we'll see how that shapes up this afternoon.
Special teams, we talked about how the kicking game is so important, and they got to get some pressure on Bone, though we have seen that Stevenson is fairly good once he gets out of the pocket. Laurier is kicking off to start this game. Western will receive, going against the wind. They will run the ball out. This kick will go into the wind, so the returners are down at the goal line. Alex Taylor about 3 yards deep into his own end zone. While the short man is Miles Rombo.
Be interesting to see if Laurier has spent time with their film and seeing what Alex Taylor did last week on his kickoff returns, and I'm curious to see if they're going to be kicking it away from Taylor and giving Miles Rombo a chance to return the ball.
See if Pfeffer can give it a good boot here, because he definitely has the wind at his back, so this one could be deeper than where the return men currently are standing. The ball blows off the tee. You can see it. It's rolled almost 5 yards by the time they get it just from that.
Well, they're going to have to get someone down there to pin it for him.
For sure. The Mustangs team trying to advance to the second round of the playoffs. If they win today, they will take on the Guelph Griffins next Saturday. If Laurier wins, they will travel to McMaster to face the Marauders. Effort to kick it off. OUA quarterfinal action from TD Stadium, and we are underway. The kick is fielded by Taylor just inside his own end zone. He runs it out, makes a man miss, but then is harassed down at about the 16-yard line. Good job fielding that ball on one hop. That could have been dangerous.
That was a very dangerous hop, and he did a tremendous job and was able to get a hold of the football. But it shows you already that was good coverage, and Western's offense now starting, inside their own 20.
And we get Stevenson Bone getting his second start of the season. The last start he got was right here against Laurier on October the 9th, but he looked very good. He's leading the Mustangs to victory that day. He will start alone in the backfield. A flag flies over the middle. It's intercepted. A dangerous one, and it's going to be brought down at the 15. The interception by Ben Miller, but there was a flag down. We'll have to see if this one comes back or not. Oh, it's on Western. So Ben Millar with the pick on the first play of the game, and Laurier has great field position.
Well, Western actually had a penalty on that play. They had a procedure call, and so it was a free play for the Laurier defense. And Stevenson, sitting in the pocket, was trying to throw the ball down the middle there, and the safety, Ben Miller, just reads it, steps in front of Brian Marshall, and picks the ball off.
Fracas, James Fracas in the backfield with Dylan Campbell, the OUA's leading rusher, and it wasn't even close. Fracas turns, passes to the outside. It's completed, but it looks like it's going to be for a loss of a few to Anthony Pizzuti. So it's a completion that loses 2 on first down for Laurier.
Right, trying to run the quick screen to the short side of the field, but Simon Baru, the boundary corner, number 13 for Western, had that well covered.
Last time here for Fracas, 21 of 33, 285, with a touchdown and 2 interceptions. They get the ball in scoring position already, but they want more than 3 here. Fracas, he's looking for the end zone. He has a man, he overthrows him, but there's a flag down.
Well, they're going to call Josh Woodman there. The ball was overthrown, but when the receiver for Laurier broke to go up into the end zone, Woodman grabbed his shirt and pulled him back a bit, and I think he's going to be called there.
Big penalty there as the ball was overthrown, intended for Greg Nyhoff. That'll put the ball at the Western 8 and an automatic first down. They've gone to the air twice so far. See if they go to the ground here. They just have to get the...
Well, the chains weren't set up right. It was half the distance to goal line, and then I believe they get the first down. The officials now are huddling to check that over.
Last time here, Western's defense held Dylan Campbell to his lowest rushing output of the season, only 111 yards, and that seems like a pretty big number still, but for him, he rushed for an astounding 1,458 yards on the ground this year in 8 games.
They did hold him to that yardage, but the thing about him was that he is one tackle away from breaking it almost every time. He's a special runner.
Now what they're calling now is half the distance to the goal, 2nd down still. So they repeat the down, and it's not an automatic first down. James Fracas is wondering why this isn't a first down. So it should be 2nd and about 3. The officials still discussing this. What? Take a look at the starting lineup now for Laurier. A solid offensive line, and when you have a rusher that gets 1,458 yards, a lot of credit has to go to the offensive line.
Certainly it does, and they've done a good job opening up those holes for Dylan Campbell, but you'll see when he gets the ball, he makes people miss and he runs over people. He's got speed, moves, and power, and he is a great running back.
The officials on the field still discussing what should be a straightforward ruling, should it not?
Well, you would think so.
All right.
It was 2nd and 12 when the penalty was called, and therefore it's half the distance to the goal line, and they should get the distance, but it's not an automatic first down, I guess, because it might be because the ball was uncatchable.
So James Fracas, last time out, 21 completions, 285 yards. He had to be active in the passing game because Western did such a good job of shutting down the Laurier running attack. And now we're back to action. 2nd down and 4 from the Western 7. Big opportunity for Laurier to start this game. It's a handoff to Campbell. He bounces outside, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. On his first touch of the game, Dylan Campbell with his 14th touchdown of the season, his first of the playoffs, and Laurier gets off to a quick start.
Well, they just ran on the short side, and they blocked the linebacker out on that side, and then Campbell comes inside and was able to beat the tackle and easily walk into the end zone. Jean-Gabriel Poulin had a shot at him but missed, and you can't miss a running back like that or they'll get the points every time.
On paper, this Western team has scored a ton of points this season, so they can get into a shootout, but when you're hitting yourself in the foot with these turnovers early in the game, you're not doing yourselves any favors.
No, the offense for Laurier did a great job there. The defense came up with a big play on the first play by Western. They take the ball, and then Laurier's offense comes and does a great job of putting it in the end zone, which is what you have to do with turnover.
So Western will be getting the ball back. They ran one play on offense, and it was an interception. This Western team has had trouble with turnovers this season. They actually lead Ontario in the number of fumbles. They've had 20 fumbles. They've lost 12 of them on the season. And the interception there from Bone really cost them early here. Laurier, on the flip side, have only lost 2 fumbles all season, which is incredible disparity between the two teams in terms of ball security.
Absolutely is.
So Peffer last time one-hopped one that was caught by Taylor. We've seen a couple times Taylor, who's still fairly green in the return game, misplay a couple kicks. This one's going to be to Taylor, and he's going to catch it in the air at the 3. So Taylor brings it out, gets a decent return up to the Western 26-yard line, and that's where they will start with their second possession of the game.
Taylor on the kickoff return up to the
Well, a good return, and they have a little better field position than the last time. So we'll see whether or not he puts the ball in the air or tries to get his running game going.
So Western, one play in last possession, intercepted. They have one of the strongest rushing attacks in the country, a very diverse backfield. This one will be given to Haru, who had a monster game last week, but this carry goes only 2 yards. Starting offensive line for the Western Mustangs is a very strong crew, very veteran crew, and they have been incredible in the run game this year.
Well, they had trouble there that time with Asante Mizan for Laurier, number 91, came down the field and made a good tackle.
Yannick Carew last week was huge. He had 209 yards rushing. Now Bone rolls out. He's looking deep, but he's going to keep it, and he's in trouble, and he's going to be knocked down at the 20-yard line. Essay Marabarea Jufo with a big hit. And Western, after throwing an interception on their first play, go 2 and out on their second drive.
Well, on that play, he rolls to his right, gets set up. He couldn't find an open receiver, and the protection was there initially, but he had trouble finding the receiver downfield, and ended up had to get the sack.
And now we see Zach Medeiros punting for the first time today, and he's going to be punting into the wind. Punting from his own 5 here. Field position's going to be a tough one. Medeiros with a good rush. It's a high punt, and it's caught at the 47-yard line of the Mustangs. Good coverage downfield, but a short kick because of the wind. I think Medeiros did a good job getting that even almost to midfield from where he was kicking it. And Laurier, again, good field position here.
Well, it was a good kick into that wind, and he got good hang time on it, and the coverage team was down there. But, again, Laurier's offense has the short field, so Western's defense being tested very early because Western's offense hasn't been able to move the ball.
With more of a field to defend, we'll see what they do on their second defensive drive of the game. Laurier trying to get off to a huge start here. The run up the middle gains about 5 from Rashad Latouche, who only has 4 carries on the season coming into this game because Campbell's had such a big workload, carrying it 185 times on the season.
Well, that's just power football, and the offensive line got off the ball, moved the defensive line back, and the fullback just took the football and did a good job picking up those 5 yards on first down.
Second down and about 5.5 yards here. Fracas alone in the backfield. Botches the snap a little bit, and the rush comes, and he's brought down. The sack from John Bewald.
Great job by John Bewald. Rushing from the right side of the field, comes in, beats his man, and was able to get the sack. So big defensive, big defensive stand by Western.
So the sack by Bewald forces the punt, and Ronnie Peffer will have his first punt of the game. Field position with the wind as it is could be a big factor here early on. As we saw last week, Windsor getting off to a 14-0 start against Western, but they didn't really seem to be too phased. That's a bad kick, perhaps deflected. It was a very, very, I don't want to say bad snap, but I mean, there was not much on that snap. It was a lot of air under that snap, and Peffer had no time to kick it. I almost looked like he had a chance to run for the first down. He tried to get the kick away, and it was deflected. It ends up being fielded at the 18-yard line, which isn't too bad for Laurier, but there's going to be a flag called for no yards, and you see here, the rush was strong and then a deflected kick.
Well, it was amazing because the rush came in almost untouched. Number 31, Jordan Bailu for Western, got a free run in, and the kicker, Pfeffer, made a great move to get outside and get rid of the ball. So heads-up play by him.
It's incredible that really he wasn't even sacked back there at midfield. That would have been a huge special teams play. Ends up getting a kickoff in the position at the 20. There were penalties on both teams, it looks like. So there is no gain in the field position for Western. They will start at the 20. Garrett Sanvito stretches it outside, trying to get away from Laurier defenders. He ends up getting 9 yards, and they'll tack on some more as he's shoved late out of bounds.
Right, that was a tremendous run by Garrett Sanvito. He really didn't get much blocking on the edge, and he had to use a few stiff arms just to get the ball outside. Great effort by him. And then when he turns it up and goes down the sideline, Laurier defender, I believe number 40, comes in late and pushes him, and that's a undisciplined penalty by Laurier, moving Western's offense down the field another 15 yards. And that's Brandon Calver, a second-year player out of London, number 40 for Laurier. He's got to show a little bit more discipline there.
When you're trying to upset a team on the road, one of the things you can't afford to do is give them any added opportunities. And when you just give away 15 yards like that, it really kind of it sucks your momentum away defensively, especially after getting 2 quick stops early in this game. Yannick Carew now on first down. Gets to the outside. Does he stay in bounds? They're going to say he stayed in bounds, and he's all the way down to the Laurier 27-yard line.
Well, after saying the previous play that there wasn't much blocking for Garrett Sanvito, this time the left side of the line, led by Eddie Meredith and Joe Cercelli, do a great job. And Yannick gets to the outside, and what great vision. He's able to stay in bounds and then accelerates down, and tremendous play by him.
38 yards. Looked like he was going to be out of bounds down at the Western bench area, but he managed to tiptoe the line and get all the way down to the 27. Bone. It looks like a procedure call could be coming on Western, and this is a broken play. He's going to be brought down in the backfield, and this will likely be a declined penalty.
It will be. What happened is they're bringing the wide receiver, Justin Sanvito, down, showing like he's going to do a crack block, and I think he crossed the line too soon, and they got called for procedure.
John Urban's got an update for us, John.
Thank you once again, Christian. We talked about briefly the keys to the game prior to the broadcast, and you know what? Discipline was on the list. You see another penalty going against the Western Mustangs. Protecting Bone was on that list, and one might say that if you had better protection, you might not have thrown that INT earlier in this contest. And the other one was containing Dylan Campbell. He's already got a TD. They're going to have to really focus on those keys of the game to get back in it, guys.
Still lots of time left in this one, but another penalty on the Mustangs. And they didn't look organized on that play either. It ended up being a broken play for whatever reason. And now 2nd and 10, Bone in the backfield. And we've got another whistle and another flag.
Flags on the play.
They're not getting the timing down at all here. It's going to be on Western again.
Illegal procedure, Western. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Well, 2 plays in a row now. The offense has not had their timing done correctly with the offside and the procedure, and those receivers in motion have to make sure that they're behind the line when that ball is snapped, and they've got to get their act together. Now
and that's another one. That is 3 consecutive.
Nice pass down the
that time
sidelines.
they got Laurier, I
on
believe.
the
The
play.
left end jumped offside, and so now it probably is going to be
Offside, Laurier. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
They get the 5 yards right back.
Well, they did.
Makes it 2nd and 10.
Down to John again, John.
Thank you very much, Christian. 7-0 is the score. No injury updates to report on just yet, but I'm sure Nigel can touch on this. When the elements start to get cold, you truly start to feel the chills, and those hits, they start to hurt just that much more. Back to you guys in the booth.
Bone looking around. He's going to keep it. Does he have anyone to throw to? He goes for the end zone. It's a dangerous play, and it's intercepted. 2nd pick of the game, and this time it's Godfrey Onyeka who stays on his feet and gets down to the 11-yard line. Bone, that was a broken play again. He scrambled, couldn't find anybody, kind of threw up a prayer, and it was intercepted. He threw into triple coverage there.
Right, he initially had no one to go with, and he's rolling to his right, and then he scrambles a little further, and what he has to do is remember not to try to make the big play when we don't need, especially early in the game. And Christian, you said it, he threw into, big time coverage down there.
And now Laurier will get the ball back. It would have been tough to kick a field goal from there because of the wind. Now Campbell has a lot of space to move. And Dylan Campbell trucks his way, still going all the way down to the 31-yard line.
Well, good opening play after the turnover. Dylan Campbell takes the ball on the left side.
Down about the 31-yard
Hit some good blocking, but he demonstrates what a great runner he is. He broke about 2 tackles there and just ran over Western's defenders.
We didn't see too many of those kinds of runs last time here, but if he can be a difference maker on the field today, Western, they've had a good time stopping the run all season, and they need to shut down Campbell today. First down from the 32. Man in motion. Fracas will hand it off to Campbell again. This time Campbell's bottled up, and he will gain maybe a couple yards on this one.
Well, it shows you what kind of balance he has, because initially it looked like he wasn't going to getting anywhere, and he was able to move the pile, spin off, and Western really has to wrap him up to make sure that he doesn't bounce away and continue the run.
Laurier, if nothing else, trying to create some space out of their own end zone here. If they are forced to kick, flip the field a bit after Western started to put together a nice drive. Second down and 7. Fracas gives the handoff and getting the first down. It was a delayed handoff to Arkarakis, a slot back. He's brought from the slot into the backfield, and Arkarakis will pick up the first down on the draw play.
Well, a very nice design play by Laurier. Delayed draw to the slot back. Gains the first down, and thing I like what what Laurier is doing early on is, they're getting the ball moving, they're going quickly, they're not allowing any substitution by Western, and they're well prepared right now offensively to move the ball and go on quick counts.
Around the league, as we have a man down on the field, the other playoff game today in the OUA is Windsor hosting the Ottawa GGs in the 4-versus-5 matchup. Windsor currently leading 1-0 in that one very early, just like this one. And out east in the Atlantic semifinal, St. FX hosting Acadia. St. FX leads 3-1, about halfway through the first there, with the winner going to Mount Allison next week.
Got some hockey scores going on.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? 7-0 here, though. Laurier leading early. First down from their own 43. Fracas fakes the handoff, throws it out. That pass looked like it was deflected at the line by Ricky Osikusi. Just glanced off his fingertips, but enough to disturb the route of the ball, and it falls incomplete.
It does, and they're just trying to run the quick hitter out into the flat, and Ricky got good pressure and was able to get to the quarterback, and we need a lot more of that from that defensive line of Western.
Laurier hasn't gone to the air too often today. They've been heavy dose of the ground game so far, and it's been working. But now in 2nd and 10, they're going to be forced to pass. Arkarakis leaks into the backfield again. He'll go into pass protection as Fracas goes over the middle, and it's too high for his intended receiver, Anthony Pizzuti, who was open.
He was. Anthony got in behind the linebackers and in front of the secondary, down about 14 yards, and the ball just sailed over his head. But it was a good, very well-designed route, and he was wide open. Quarterback just missed him.
Missed opportunity there for Laurier, and now they will punt. Yannick Carew and Justin Sanvito back to return.
Well, you can see the difference that the wind is making in terms of field position, where the returners are standing, and Western's going to have another long field to move the football.
See if they can get this punt off. This time they do. Peffer's a good kick, fielded by Sanvito at the 21. Up the middle, gains about 4 on the return. Good coverage by the Golden Hawks, and Western will start at the 28-yard line. We will be back with more first quarter action. It's OUA quarterfinals. Laurier lead Western 7-0.
Welcome to Golden Hawk Lake. Is this the new Toyota Highlander? Yep. Must feel like your own little world in here. I guess. Does this world of yours have a name?
No.
Ever look at the stars through your moonroof?
I have.
Ever wish upon them? No. Backup camera, like having eyes in the back of your head? A little. 1 or 2 eyes? So it has a V6 engine, right? Yes, sir. Is it powerful? Definitely. Do you think I'm powerful? Possibly.
The all-new Toyota Highlander. One look, and you'll want to know more.
The road trip. It's freedom. It's exploration. It's about new experiences. And this road trip has been brought to you by Pioneer Bonus Bucks.
Another play for the Western Mustangs that goes nowhere. So far, Bone 0 for 2 with 2 interceptions, and he's been sacked as well twice.
Well, that time he's making a read there, and Nakas Onyeka, number 11, the outside linebacker, just came down quickly and made the tackle when Stevenson pulled the ball away from the running back.
Not at all the start Western was looking for here. 2nd down and 12. Bone back to pass. He dumps it off to San Vito, who gets close to the first down marker. He'll be about 4 yards shy, though. And Western will go 2 and out once again.
Well, again, another really good play by Garrett Sanvito. He took the screen, and the defensive lineman for Laurier, number 91, really made a nice play, and Garrett had to make a good move to get around him. And then he was able to pick up 6-7 yards on his own, and now Western's forced to punt again.
Medeiros' first kick went about 31 yards against the wind. Arkarakis and Carson Ouellette back to return the kick, and it's not a good one. It goes out of bounds at the Western 48-yard line. It's a punt of 17 yards for Medeiros.
Well, it was a very strange play by Medeiros. He took the snap and then took a couple of extra steps, like he wasn't going to kick it, and then he decided to kick it and then went off the side of his foot, and Laurier again has great field position to start their offensive drive.
At some point, though, they've got to cash in on this field position and score points. Campbell with the handoff, and he runs into a pile of Mustangs. He'll gain maybe a yard.
Well, Rupert Butcher and Darrell Wadd, 2 tackles there on the defensive line, really playing some tough football inside there, and there was no movement, negating that gain to about 1 yard.
So now 2nd and long. James Fracas hasn't completed a pass yet today. Well, he has, but it was for -2 yards, so he hasn't completed a pass for a positive gain. He'll need one here on 2nd and 9. Alone in the backfield. Pressure coming. He escapes it, though, and he will rush ahead for a first down. Just inside the marker at the 37-yard line. It will be enough for Laurier first down. The pocket collapsed, but he had some space once he got out.
He really did. There was good pressure by just rushing 4, but then there was a huge gap, and the linebackers were really far back, and Preston Huggins came up and made a good tackle.
So Laurier, again, the ground game is working for them so far. The handoff is to Campbell on first down, tries to go up the middle, and he will power his way forward just inside the 31-yard line. And he'll make 2nd down and 6 coming up.
Yeah, straight power football. They're not disguising anything there with just straight ahead blocking on the left side and pushing the defenders back and gaining a good 5-6 yards. It really helps with the play call on the 2nd down.
So 2nd down and about 5 here for the Laurier Golden Hawks. The 31-yard line. They are in field goal range now. They go the sweep to Campbell, and it is going to, well, they had a chance to blow it up, but he manages to spin off and fall forward. It will be short of the first down by about a yard. And we'll take a look at the yardages. John Urban has an update.
Thank you once again, Christian. Stevenson Bone, already 2 INTs in this game. He was brought in to start this game because of an injured Will Finch. Marshall was not messing around, though. Not only does he have Blake Huggins backing up Stevenson Bone, but they also brought Josh Beach in the equation, the London Beefeaters quarterback. So if anything were to go wrong, or if these INTs start to pile up through the first half of play, they do have backups and willing to go in. But I think the toughest thing for them is keeping warm right now in these elements, guys.
Thank you very much, John. A 35-yard attempt of a field goal coming up from Ronnie Peffer. Last week was only 1 of 3 against Guelph, and in a game that they lost by 5. That was a big-time equation. From 35, the kick is up, and it is good.
Well, he certainly had plenty of leg, and it was a really good job by the holder because the snap was a bit off, and the holder makes a great grab and was able to get it down in time, and they're successful, and here they have, with good field position, generated on turnovers and field position, 10 points.
We remember last week when the Windsor Lancers opened up a 14-0 lead, but Western was able to come back and win that one fairly comfortably. But the Western Mustangs offense today not clicking nearly as well as they were last week.
Well, everything seems to be a bit out of sync, even though when they get some good plays going, there's some penalties, offsides, procedures, and they need to improve on that if they hope to put some points on the board.
Bone pitches to Haru in the backfield. Haru can't escape, and it will be another loss with a run play. The blocking up front doesn't seem to be as good as it needs to be early in this game.
Well, no, they really had trouble on that play. And number 44, Laurier, busted through and was able to break up that play, and that's Sam Montezeri doing a good job.
Bone to pass on second down, goes outside, and it's off the fingertips of Adam St. Clair, and another 2-and-out for the Mustangs offense.
Well, yeah, I'm not even sure why they're throwing the ball there on 2nd and 10. Even if Adam catches the ball, it's a 5-yard gain, and they've got to be pushing the ball down the field to get the first down. So Western's offense not clicking at all in terms of running or passing the football.
Credit Laurier's defense as they now get another punt into the wind from Medeiros not long before the first quarter expires. See if he can get a better kick than last time. He will. He's hit, but no call on the play. The ball goes out of bounds at the 48-yard line. It's about a 24-yard punt this time.
Right, a good non-call by the official, and Medeiros tried to get the flag, but it didn't work, and he's really got to concentrate on trying to get better punts.
So we take another look at the kick. Watch Medeiros at the end here. He wasn't touched. Good job by the official. So Laurier again starting inside Western territory. This time at the 47. Fracas in the backfield alone. Drops back, throws high for Pizzuti. It's caught for a gain of only 3.
Now that's great coverage by Preston Huggins on the play, and they had good pressure coming up the front as well. And Fracas had to get rid of the ball, but a good sound defensive play.
So second down now that's another high pass as Fracas tries to get accustomed to the wind, and in just a matter of a minute or so he'll be throwing against the wind, and that's another adjustment all in itself. 2nd and 8 now for Laurier from the 44. Delay handoff to Campbell, who's knocked down at the 42-yard line, and that will bring up 3rd down, and Laurier will probably attempt to punt this.
Well, again, another good defensive play by the end there. John Bewald started his rush, saw that they're trying to run that inside, and got off his block and tripped him up.
Though since Laurier has the wind at their back, they're going to try a 49-yard field goal attempt.
Well, the last one probably went about 40-some yards, so I think it's a good decision by them, as long as they get a good snap.
Snap's good, holds good. Peffer's kick. Looks like it's got enough leg, but it's wide. So Taylor fields it in the end zone. He'll bring it out. And he's got himself a return out to the 15. That was Malcolm Brown, actually, who gets it to the 15-yard line.
Right, and when he really has to field long field goals in the air, and the fact that it hit the ground gives the coverage team a huge advantage to get down, and you could see he was a bit angry with himself. He's got to catch that ball in the air.
Field goal had enough leg by maybe a yard or two, but it was fairly wide right. And this will be the last play of the first quarter, presumably. Bone with 3 in the backfield. We'll hand it off to San Vito. And Garrett San Vito with a strong first down run. He's brought down at the 26-yard line. And that will mark the end of a first quarter that saw the Western Mustangs really struggle on offense. Laurier puts up 10 points in the first quarter, and they will lead on the road. They're trying to book their ticket to McMaster. 10-0 Laurier. After 1, we'll be back with more football.
What do I like best about Brescia? I love the light.
The values here are my values: compassion, creativity, empowerment.
I love it that we're all from different places, different backgrounds, and we're all women.
The campus is gorgeous, and there's something going on 24/7.
That's easy. Dr. Garcia. I wouldn't be headed to grad school if she hadn't inspired me to follow my dream, from day one.
Brescia's got a deep-rooted history going back nearly 100 years, and yet what I'm studying is right on the edge.
For me, it's always been about my Brescia family.
I came to Brescia to discover my strengths.
The new residence is where my friends and I hang out and recharge.
In 2 minutes, I can cross the street and go from this intimate campus where I know everybody to one of the busiest universities in Canada.
I love living at Brescia and working out at Western.
These students, their passion for learning, their curiosity about the world, I learn from them every day.
I sleep well, I eat well, and I've never wanted to work so hard.
Studying at Brescia has given me the space to find myself and my voice.
What'll be your favorite thing about Brescia? Come and find out.
Welcome back to TD Stadium in London, where the Laurier Golden Hawks are off to a nice start, 10-0. They lead here against the Mustangs. 2nd down and 5 for Western from their own 25. Bone back to pass. He airs it out deep. He's got a man. It goes through his hands. Brian Marshall was there, and it went right through his hands. And he landed hard on the sideline, and he is down.
Right, he's just running down the sidelines. Ball was thrown to him, and you'll see perhaps on the replay, it does go right through him, but he lands really heavily on the track, and let's hope that he's all right.
Lying down on his back. Yeah, there's no real cushion over there. If you land maybe 2 yards off the sideline there, it's just track. And he might have landed on the divider there between the track and the field.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, and he's perhaps winded or knocked his head because it was an awkward fall, that's for sure.
First quarter really to forget for the Mustangs. Down 10-0. They only had 53 yards of offense. Laurier, to their credit, only had 58 yards of offense, but that's because they had good field position every time, and they had a chance to score from inside the Western 20. They got a touchdown at the start of the game, and then a field goal later in the first quarter. Bone, after that pass, is now 1 of 5 with 2 interceptions.
Well, he's had 2 drops in the last 2, that's for sure. But I really think the story of the first quarter is that Western's defense really did a good job, considering Laurier had great field position, etc., and held them to 10 points. And the other part of the story is the ineptness of the Western offense in terms they get some good running plays going and then make mental mistakes and then throw an interception. So really that's got to be ironed out soon.
While we wait for Brian Marshall's condition, we go to John Urban down on the sideline. John.
Thanks once again, Christian. Just warming up, and then he stopped when you guys throw it down to me. Blake Huggins was actually warming up temporarily, and we'll see if he plays a factor into this game. You kind of foreshadowed it early, though, Christian. The Western Mustangs are actually losing by a score of 14-0 to the Windsor Lancers. Ended up beating them 43-21 right here at TD Waterhouse Stadium to clinch third place and to get home field advantage for this game. That's why the Mustangs tried their best in that contest to get home field advantage. Let's see if the fans can will them back into it, guys.
And now the Western faithful are applauding the fact that Brian Marshall's slowly walking off the field after that incompletion. We'll get another look at it now. Bone airs it out, and Marshall leaps for it, goes through his hands, and then, yeah, it looks like he landed on his head. His head hit the track there, I believe. Get another look.
And the ball's thrown high, but it really is a catch that Brian should make and normally does, and then he lands heavily on his back, and I'm sure he got the wind knocked out of him, and it looked like he hit his head a bit too, so not a very nice surface to land on.
Marshall, the top receiver on the Mustangs this year, 7th in the province in yards per game, 40 catches, and to lose him would be a big blow, as he seems to be keeping that right arm fairly still. We'll have to wait and see going forward what his condition is, but right now the Mustangs defense will go right back to work. They've been busy so far today. We'll see if fatigue ever catches up to them. Medeiros now with the wind at his back unleashes a huge kick, but it's fielded at the 34-33, and dodging a man is Ouellette, and Ouellette's still going. Carson Ouellette still on his feet, and he's brought down at the Western 45. A man had a chance to make the play down pretty much where Ouellette caught the punt. Unable to make the play, and he unleashes a big return.
No, great return, and it was a good kick by Medeiros, and the coverage team was down there, but some good blocking by the Laurier Golden Hawks, and Western couldn't get off their blocks and not able to make the tackle.
Luckily it was the long snapper there. Had a chance to make the play. Unable to, and now Laurier again starts inside Western territory. Arkarakis takes the handoff, runs outside, and gains about 7 yards on first down.
Well, good movement by the right side of the Laurier offensive line, and there's just, in my viewpoint here, there just seems to be a little more physical readiness by Laurier, and they really seem to be taking it in terms of the physical aspect of the game to Western, and Western right now doesn't have an answer.
Second down and short. Likely going to see a run play here. That's been their tendency. And Campbell gets it. He will be pushed back, though. He tries to fight for that first down, and it looks like, depending on the spot, it could be enough. Though this spot looks like it could be short. Now as we look at that, we go to John Urban on the sideline.
Thanks once again, Christian. Trailing by 10 points here in the second quarter. You're looking over my left shoulder at Brian Marshall being attended to by the training staff. You were talking about it, Nigel. Not a lot of cushion on the outside sidelines here at TD Waterhouse Stadium, and I believe it is a head injury. That's kind of scary when you think about it, considering Will Finch left the game against Windsor with a concussion. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you very much, John. It is scary. And on 3rd and 1, James Fracas lines up on the outside, and there were flags flying everywhere as it looked like there was movement up front. This should be against Laurier.
Well, if you go from what the Western defensive line was saying, they all pointed and said the player moved and then they jumped. So whether it depends whether or not the official saw it.
Procedure, Laurier, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down repeated.
So that'll knock them back, and they'll have to punt now. See the lineman 57 pulled early.
Well, both teams on offense showing some undisciplined penalties at crucial times, and these offsides really hurt you. And there was an opportunity for Laurier's offense to keep the football against the wind, get another first down on 3rd and short, and here they are now being forced to punt. So that's a huge penalty.
We're going to run some kind of trick play there on 3rd down with Fracas lining up on the outside. Multiple linemen went early, and now Peffer punts. It's a good kick. Fielded at the 9-yard line, but
clearly no yards. Laurier defender was almost making the catch with the Western returner, and should be an easy call for the official.
The low kick like that almost looked like it was going to hit the Laurier special teams player on the kick, and Western will get some added cushion going away from their own end zone now. Looks like he dove to try to catch that one to make sure
no yards.
It didn't go to the end
Laurier,
zone.
5-yard penalty.
Just a 5-yard.
First down, Western.
And as a result, the Mustangs will start with the ball at their own 14-yard line, and field position has been a huge win for Laurier so far today. Bone trying to get it going. This Mustangs offense has been fairly inconsistent so far this game. Bone's going to go deep, and he's got McDougall in stride down inside the 50 to the 47-yard line. A huge play on first down.
Well, a good route and catch by Matt McDougall, number 84. Coming in for the injured Brian Marshall there at the inside receiver position, just runs the post pattern, gets in front of the safety, and the ball's there, and he makes the catch. So let's hope that this kind of play ignites the Western offense.
A 49-yard gain on first down. The handoff to Haru, maybe got 2. Down to the 45. McDougall coming into this game only had 2 catches for 57 yards on the season, and on that one play gains 49.
Well, a great play by him, and he is an exciting young football player, and it's good to see him on the field. But there you go on the first down, only a gain of 1 yard, and right now Laurier's defensive line is winning the battle.
McDougall, second-year player out of Belleville. Bone, he's got to watch from the backside. He didn't know it was coming, but Kwaku Boateng makes the play from the backside. Bone had no idea, and that's going to be another sack and a punt from Western.
Well, right now, Stevenson Bone came out to throw the ball, but honestly, there was no receivers open to throw the ball, and the receivers really have to get open against that kind of coverage to allow him some place to throw the football.
Medeiros has been a busy man today. It's already his 5th punt with 11:41 to go in the second quarter. The sack from Boateng is 7th of the season. It's been a monster up front for Laurier. And now Medeiros had a good kick into the wind last time. Doesn't field the snap too cleanly, but gets off a nice kick down to the 10-yard line. Ouellette, though, this time a nice play is made by the long snapper, John Bewald.
Well, John Bewald is having a very good football game. He's an outstanding snapper on the 3rd down, and then he's the first guy downfield and makes a good tackle, and he's really playing well in today's football game.
So if nothing else, Western flips the field on this one. They started last drive at their own 14, and now Laurier starting at their own 18. So they're by far worst field position to start a drive this game. We'll see if the Western defense can force a kick here, as it would be into the wind. Campbell tries to stretch to the outside, but it's not there. Knocked out of bounds by Simon Baru at about the line of scrimmage.
Well, the defensive line for Western is able to string the play out, and Ryan Northfield, number 42, playing that end there, is able to stretch the play out and force Campbell outside.
Take a look at James Fracas in our Wilson quarterback matchup. So far this evening, 11 touchdowns, 64% completion percentage. A strong quarterback as this Laurier program tries to rebuild, and they've had a successful season this year with him at the helm. They run the screen play. Campbell's got a lot of space. Dylan Campbell shrugs off one defender, still on his feet, and he's brought down finally at the 40-yard line after a gain of 22 on the screen play.
Well, there's a flag down on the field that's just going to save Western, but here Western brought an all-out blitz. Laurier has the screen on, and what's puzzling is if you're going to bring the blitz.
Laurier, half the distance, second down repeated.
And if you're going to bring an all-out blitz like that, then you've got to make sure that that whoever is on the running back is covering him, and especially if it's Dylan Campbell. And here you have Dylan Campbell. He slips out of the backfield. Nobody picks him up in an all-out blitz, and they just dump the ball, and he has this huge gain. And fortunately, I mean, Western gets away with one because of the penalty by Laurier.
It was the perfect play call for an all-out blitz, and the holding call really cost them as they had a 22-yard gain. They instead lose about 9 yards on the penalty, and now they're backed up near their own end zone. Frack is alone in the backfield on second and about 17. That ball, you can see, throwing it into the wind is no easy task, and that ball was nowhere close to the intended receiver. Pizzuti on that one.
No, it's perhaps fortunate that it was thrown down in behind the receiver because there were two Western defenders there and it had a chance to be picked. And penalties are a big part of what's going on in today's game. Laurier's hurt themselves earlier in the previous possession on a second and short with a penalty, and here they have a second down and run a good play and a penalty calls it back.
These penalties costing the Golden Hawks could come back to haunt them if Western can start to gain some traction on offense. Peffer does the old run around a lot thing and take the safety. Wastes about 10 seconds off the clock before conceding 2 points, which gets Western on the board, and that's a victory by the defense. But in reality, Laurier did that to themselves with the holding penalty.
They did, and a good call there by Laurier to give up the 2 points because of the wind, etc. But then even better to run some time off the clock with the punter running around. We noticed in last week's game that I think Windsor went down right away and knelt and gave the 2 points up right away.
Now, oftentimes we see Western just stop, or they just take the ball at the 35, as you see the special teams coach there.
Well, Chris Marcus, that's the special teams coach. He's got a lot of responsibilities, and it's not an easy day for him when he's trying to contend with the wind and the different conditions, and he prepares his players well, but ultimately the players are the ones that have to perform.
What I was saying was, oftentimes we'll see Western, a lot of teams just take the ball at the 35 after a safety, but with the wind howling in the face of Peffer here, Western's going to take the kickoff, knowing that they'll definitely get better field position, or a good chance of getting better field position if they accept the kickoff. And now Peffer, last time he had to have someone hold it on the tee, and it looks like that's going to be the case once again, as he's got Will Pitt-Doe there to hold it for him. So Taylor and Rombo back to field. This kickoff, they're at their own 25, anticipating a fairly short kick here. It's a line drive kick, and it will be picked up by Rombo at the 28. Miles Rombo up the middle, a good return by Rombo. Tries to get to the outside, still on his feet, and he goes out of bounds around midfield after a return of 28 yards.
Well, it was a good return by Miles Rombo, and both those return men, Alex Taylor and Miles Rombo, you see when they get the football in their hands, they make something happen, and Western now has good field position.
Best field position of the game for Western to start here. It's about where Laurier started many of their drives going in this direction.
That's right.
But we're only able to get a field goal out of those. The touchdown coming off of a bone interception. Pass is complete to Yannick Haru, who spins and gets up to the Laurier 46. Gain of 7 on first down.
Well, a good first down call, and they just leaked the back out in the flat, give him a chance to do something, and now you're looking at 2nd and 3, and it opens up again, the type of call you can make on 2nd and 3 really opens up the play calling.
Western's been stuck with too many 2nd and long so far today. And Haru is plugged in the backfield, and he's not going to get a first down on this carry.
No, not at all. And again, the battle is being won up front by the defensive line of Laurier. Yannick Haru hit in there but was stopped, and he really put his shoulder in and got any movement by himself.
So it'll be 3rd and a yard here And this is likely where you see Western bring in the heavy package. And that's exactly what they're doing. Peta, Wad, May, they're all coming in here. Safakis is in. They need a yard to get the first down. Laurier's defense looking to hold here. Bone, will he just go for the sneak?
Well, that is certainly not a yard. That's what they're calling.
Haru gets about 5 yards on the play. Flags fly, though.
Right, and Christian, the ball was snapped. Where I'm sitting perfectly, and the entire Laurier defensive line was half a yard away from the ball. So good for the officials to pick up on that.
Penalties declined anyway, though, as Haru managed to gain 5. Poor discipline there by the Laurier defense. They make such a good play on second down and short.
Well, on the second down and short, I also thought, if you look at it carefully, maybe we can get a replay, that they were encroaching as well, but they got away with it that time, but not on third down.
You can see there's a bit more separation this time. Haru gets the ball on first down and runs up the middle for a gain of 4. Yannick Haru getting a lot of carries here in the second quarter. We saw him very active last week against Windsor. We take another look at the third down play. You can see they're very close there, and easy call there for the officials to pick that one up.
And on that short down yardage, you see good blocking there by Alex May and James Fafakis, doing a good job up front.
Bone on second down hands it off to Haru again, and Haru will be short of the first down. But again, you're likely going to see them go for it on third down at about a yard.
Well, again, the Western offense, they're trying to establish the run, but give credit to the Laurier defense, who are, really putting up a battle there on the defensive and offensive lines.
So the heavy package comes in again. Peta, Wad, Butcher. Pretty much 3/4 of their starting defensive line will be in the backfield or lining up to block here on third and a yard. Bone under center. 4 in the backfield, now it's 3. Bone will hand it off, and this might not have gotten it. Haru got knocked down right at the line of scrimmage, and this will be close.
No, I don't think it's close. I think Laurier stopped him, and there's just no movement up front in terms of trying to get a lane for the running back. And right now, the defensive line for Laurier, talking about Emerson Gourdet, S.A. Marubu Ajufo, Asante Mizan, they are doing a heck of a job and winning that battle.
And you're right, it wasn't really close. They didn't even have to measure it. They just gave it to Laurier. Great defensive stand there by the Golden Hawks. Western comes away empty once again. Hand off to Campbell. Campbell eludes the first tackler, but then is brought down after a gain of about 3. That's a hard-fought 3 yards for Campbell.
It is he's hit in the backfield, and he still manages to get 3 yards. Shows you how difficult it is to bring him down.
So Laurier holding on to this 10-2 lead. They've got to be happy with how things have gone so far. And Western only managing 2 points, and that was a conceded safety. Their offense has done very little so far today. They're definitely not scaring this Laurier defense. Second down and 7. Fracas back to pass. He's going to run it. He might have the ball knocked out. Yes, he will. There's a scramble for it, and I believe Western got on top of this, and they did. You could see that coming from behind.
Well, what a great play. Again, I mentioned his name, John Bewald, from his end position, chases him down, knocks the ball loose. Just a great play by that young man from Ottawa.
Western will have great field position when we return on Mustangs TV.
Someday your life will flash before your eyes. Make it worth watching. The all-new Lexus LSF Sport. An entirely new pursuit.
Every day you go new places. A small change in how you do things, or moving your things to a whole new town, or many things to many towns all at once. No matter how small the move, it can be a big leap from where you are now. You've got it in you to go new places. So do we. We go there every day. We're here to help you move to places on the map, in the mind, in the heart, or all three.
Go new places with AMJ Campbell. Contact us at 888-AMJ-MOVE or amjcampbell.com.
.6:11 left in the second quarter. Western will get the ball on Laurier's 36 after a great defensive play by John Bewald. You'll see it again in just a moment, but first, the Western offense goes back to work. Bone, quick out to McDougall. McDougall, stutter steps, tries to escape. Laurier defenders, gets about 6 on first down, and we'll take another look at the Bewald strip.
Well, here you see Fracas set up. He tries to run Bewald from the right side, tomahawks the ball down and pops out. And I didn't see, maybe Ricky Osikusi picked it up. It looks like he was the closest one, but just a great play by John Bewald, number 49.
Looked like Laurier had a chance to get on it first, but you never know with fumbles. Those are a slippery thing to grab as San Vito runs for a first down, and John Urban has an update.
Thanks once again, Christian. 14-0, the Western Mustangs trailed the Windsor Lancers last week. What broke up the momentum? Well, the Windsor Lancers conceded a safety on special teams. The Western Mustangs trailing by 10. What does Laurier do? They concede a safety. And after that fumble, you can tell the momentum is starting to shift into the home team's favor. Let's hope it's a good omen for the rest of the game.
Well, a good second down run by San Vito puts the ball at the 22. And they're going to go with their bread and butter running game, but now San Vito drops the ball. Looked like he got it back, though. And that'll, again, we talked about it earlier, Western's ball control issues. 21 now total fumbles on the season. They haven't lost all of them. They've lost about half of them, but still, that's a scary thing anytime the ball hits the turf.
Well, they're having great difficulty blocking number 11, Nakas Onyeka, who seems to be in the backfield every time, and also number 99, defensive end, was in there as well.
So second and long, and Western has certainly struggled in second and long situations today. Bowen back to pass. He's got time. He's got a receiver, Sinclair. The ball's knocked away, well defended, and now Western will bring out the field goal team.
Well, it was actually, a well-thrown football. Adam Sinclair just runs down 10, sits up just outside. The ball's right there. He should make that catch. Here you see Stevenson sitting in the pocket. He throws it right to him, and Adam is being hit while the ball's getting there, but he still should be making that catch.
Now a 30-yard field goal attempt from Zach Medeiros. And that's good. So it cuts the lead in half. It's 10-5 for the Laurier Golden Hawks, but another strong stand by that defense, holding Western to only 3.
Right, it seems that there's no real continuity with what they're doing in terms of the run game. They seem to, bust a good play for 8 yards. Sometimes they get, 12 yards, and the next play they get stuffed, and so they're really having trouble with the defensive front for Laurier.
So Laurier, knowing that the wind is pushing them backwards, decides to just take the ball at the 35. Last possession ended in a Fracas fumble. Bit of a fake there. Fracas tries to get outside. He's got a man in the flats, and Arkarakis makes the catch before getting shoved out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
Well, they faked the sweep to Campbell running to the short side, and then Fracas bootlegs, and he's got the whole wide side of the field. and he throws it to a wide open receiver. The half has to cover on the wide side a lot further out than that.
Good fake there by Fracas to get that play open, but Arkarakis had all kinds of space in the flats. First down, high snap, and it's a run by Campbell, and there's nothing there. Good job by the defensive line as Campbell gains maybe a yard, but that's really all he needed to get the first down.
That's right, he did get the first down, so they will be moving the chains.
Just enough to get the first down.
And that's a good play by Laurier because it gives them time to run the clock off as the half winds down and stop Western, who has the win this half right now, or this quarter right now.
3:15 and counting down towards halftime. Laurier with a fresh set of downs at their own 46. Fracas will keep it himself. It's a designed run. He will go down at around the 52-yard line. Last designed run they had ended in a fumble, so they're showing confidence in their quarterback. He gets it near midfield. Strong gain on first down.
No, a good safe call there. They're running the quarterback draw. He's a good runner, and he gets good first down yardage, and they're looking at 2nd and 4.
On the season, Fracas had 44 carries for 272 yards. We've hit the 3-minute mark here in this second quarter of play.
Lone Star believes that tortillas should be the rodeo star, not the sideshow clown. Gotta be baked fresh, so they wrap around toppings like a warm hug from your mama. That's why Lone Star bakes those blankets of heaven in each restaurant with their own special oven. They ain't reheated in no microwave. So if that much goes into making their tortillas taste so good, imagine what goes into the rest of the fajita. Lone Star, the taste is in the details.
New improved Powerade Ion 4 replenishes fuel and 4 of the minerals lost in sweat. Powerade Ion 4 hydrates better than water. Keep sweating.
.59 remaining in the second quarter. Laurier has the ball, 2nd and 4 from their own 52. Big second down here if Western wants to try to get the ball back and score before the end of the half. Fracas fakes, keeps it, throws behind Arkarakis, and he is pummeled by Woodman. Big hit there as that throw was behind Arkarakis, dangerously so. And Western will get the ball back as Laurier is forced to punt.
Well, good job by Western's defense there. There you see Josh Woodman come up with a big hit. It's tough for the receiver when he's turning around trying to get the ball. He cannot see the defender coming up to hit him. But a good defensive stand there, and it gives, Western's offense a chance to get back on the field.
They tried the fake to Campbell, but Western was all over that play. Fake run to Campbell, throw to Arkarakis. Woodman with a big hit to break it up, and now Pfeffer will punt from his own 40. It's a low kick. It'll bounce a few times before it's picked up by San Vito at the 30, trip up at the 35, and they'll mark it at the 36-yard line, which is where Western will start with 2:39 to go.
Well, here you see the previous play with Fracas taking the ball and then throwing it. It is behind him, and he doesn't certainly have position. And good play by Josh Woodman. Now you see another Western player, Justin Sanvito, on the field. He's down because on the punt return, on the tackle, he got tackled right through the leg and got hit right on the leg, and it looks a little sore as he gets up and gingerly limps off.
Looks like it's nothing too serious, though. And they'll probably give him a break for the half. 2:39 to go. Western, with the wind at their back, can get into field goal range for Medeiros, who's long on the season is 39, but with the wind here, you can probably add a few more to that range. They have to get there first. Bone on first down fakes the handoff over the middle, and he's got George Johnson there, and he's down to the 50 of Laurier.
Well, he had good protection, and he stayed in the pocket, and George, coming from his split end position, just runs almost a post route, and Stevenson throws the ball right on the money. Good first down, successful play.
We're still waiting to see the Bone that we saw on October 9th against Laurier, who led the team to a very dominant performance. They scored 61 points that game. They only have 5 so far, with just 2:20 to go in the first half. Bone back to pass. He's got lots of time. He's going to keep it, and he waited too long to make a choice, and he'll be knocked down for a loss of 2.
Right, a bit of a panic there. I think he went to his first read, and when that was taken away, he wasn't sure where to go. And I think if he'd hung on the read a little further, George Johnson does come open down the middle, but he's already pulled the ball down, and as a result, he's not looking downfield.
Thought about running there as well, but decided to keep behind the line of scrimmage, and as soon as he made that choice, he was brought down for a loss of 1. Third sack of the day for the Golden Hawks, and that's another 2nd and long. Bone to pass, a lot of pressure. He throws over the middle, he's got his man. And Shaquille Johnson gets the first down inside the 36-yard line.
Well executed there, Stevenson Bone. They're running the tunnel screen to number 2, Shaquille Johnson. He comes underneath. Stevenson drops back. The D-line rushes him. He gets the ball to him, well thrown.
Pressure in his face. It was a right play call, and now Western has a first down at the 36. Bone keeps it. He's going to run it this time, and he'll get up to the 26, but I believe this might come back as a hold looks to be called in Western here. So, yep, that's the first indication, and it will be a hold on the Mustangs.
Holding, Western, 10-yard penalty. It remains first down.
So that'll knock them back 10 yards. It happened about halfway through the run, and that's what happens sometimes when the quarterback starts scrambling unpredictably as you're a blocker downfield.
You're right, and he made good yardage, but penalty hurts him.
So a lot of yards to gain back now for Western. Field goal from here would be about 52, which is too far. Minute 41 to go. Laurier's defense trying to get to the locker room with a lead. Bone, as they've thrown in every down on this drive. His man tripped. He was going for McDougall, but McDougall lost his footing as he tried to find that ball.
Yeah, Matt McDougall looked a little bit awkward there. He's running the corner route, and he was actually coming open, but he turned around and got his hips and feet caught up and ended up on the ground.
He stopped to try to find the ball, but really he needed to keep running.
Absolutely, yes.
It's one of the issues trying to track the ball with a wind-aided pass, and that maybe is some inexperience from McDougall. He hasn't seen too much playing time this season. Bone is flushed out. He's in trouble. And he'll be brought down at Western's 53-yard line. It's a loss of a bunch on the play. And now Western will be forced to punt again.
Well, he certainly didn't have the protection on that play, and Laurier's defense has caused all sorts of problems for the pass protection of the offensive line for Western. And Laurier's defense and their coaching staff deserves all the credit for coming up with new wrinkles that beat that system.
A loss of 10 on the play. This is technically 3rd and 30 for the Mustangs. Medeiros. It's a high kick away. It's fielded at the 12 by Ouellette. Ouellette dances and is knocked down at the 14-yard line. They're going to call forward progress at the 17-yard line. Not a great return for Ouellette as he tried to dance around and didn't really have anywhere to go. 1:14 to go in this first half. Laurier really just trying to get to the locker room with a 10-5 lead now.
Well, that's right, and they've certainly been the better team in this half on both sides of the ball.
Western, the highest scoring team in the province. Doesn't look like it today. Yes, they have a new quarterback at the helm, but we saw him do well against Laurier last time, but Laurier must have found something in the film as they've managed to really shut down this offense today. Dylan Campbell straight up the middle, but he is tied down at the 20. So this brings up a big second down after Western calls a timeout to stop the clock at 1:10. If they can get the ball back after a punt from
Western.
Laurier, which would likely be a short one because of the wind, they could get the ball back with decent field position to try to get a field goal before halftime. But first things first, they got to stop Laurier here on 2nd down and 7 coming up.
Right, a really good play there by number 95, Rory Knopp, who was able to, wrap up Campbell around the legs, and I think Rupert Butcher came in and sort of finished him off the top. So great play by the tackles for defense.
You could tell Campbell gets a head of steam going, but he hit a brick wall on that first down play, as we see defensive coordinator Paul Gleason, whose defense really has done a good job today, all things considered.
Well, they have. I mean, they have been in a tough position, especially in the first quarter. Western's defense, kept their team in the game by, only giving up that one touchdown, and they really had, Laurier's offense had some short fields to play with and didn't get any more touchdowns.
Defensive battle here today. 10-5, Laurier leads, and now we have a 2nd and 7 from Laurier's 20. Fracas gives it to Campbell. He's got the first down, and he's got more than that too, all the way to the 35-yard line. Big run of 15 on 2nd down for Campbell.
Well, well-designed play again. Looked like they're going to go outside, and he cuts it back underneath, and it's well blocked, and they got through, and there were no linebackers around to make any tackles. And
it means with a minute left, Laurier is going to be able to milk even more time off the clock as another Mustang is down on the field. This time it's Jean-Gabriel Poulin.
Right, and he's, come back off that dislocated elbow injury, and so let's hope that he's all right.
Wears a fairly hefty brace on that right arm. Unclear what the injury is there. Just hope that it's not his elbow again. Looks like he might be holding his hip there. So with 63 seconds left in the first half, Laurier a fresh set of downs, and you can bet they're going to take this play clock all the way down to about 2 seconds before they snap the ball. That'd be the wise thing to do. And wait till about 8 seconds left on the clock. They're going to pass it here on first down. Fracas, he's in trouble, and he's just going to throw this one away. And a flag is thrown here at the 20.
Well, I think he might be called for intentionally grounding the ball when he's about to be tackled, so.
That'll be a spot foul at the 20-yard line. It'll lose 15 on the play.
Well, an interesting call by the official. I mean, he was clear that he wasn't trying to get the ball in play, but I don't know.
I was always under the impression that if it's outside the pocket, if he's scrambling, and he can just throw it away.
Well, I think that's a rule in the professional leagues.
But not here. You need to have a receiver in the area. So it's a big loss. They'll just take the yardage here. It'll be a gain of only a few, about 3 for Dylan Campbell. But we'll check the flag. If this is against Western, it's not necessarily going to cost them. It'll be against Laurier, so never mind that train of thought. They'll decline this penalty, and they get the ball back.
Offside, Laurier. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
With about 30-ish seconds left, they'll have a chance for a quick drive to try to score 3.
Well, Western took their time out now.
Western.
Preventing Laurier from running 20 more seconds off the clock. So they will get the ball back, and they should have a chance to get at least 2 plays in, I would think, possibly 3.
Take a look at the Mustangs female athlete of the week, Brianne Nicholas. She's a second-year kinesiology student from Blenheim, Ontario, was instrumental in Western's 22-19 win over the Queens Gales in the OUA bronze medal game Saturday afternoon at Alumni Field. She accounted for 17 of Western's 22 points, scoring 2 tries, 2 conversions, and a penalty goal to help Western take the bronze and her spot in this week's CIS Women's Rugby Championship, where they lost in a heartbreaker 27-25 today. So tough loss for them today, but that is your female athlete of the week, as Peffer will punt from his own 10-yard line. Actually, he's going to concede the safety. He's going to run a lot of time off the clock in the process, though. Gets the ball down, or the clock down to 30 seconds. 9 seconds killed off the clock. Interesting choice there to take the 2 points.
It is an interesting choice, and again, I'm impressed with the play by Pfeffer. He's able to run, 10 seconds off, and I'd like to think that the coverage unit for Western was prepared for that. If he's going to be running around, make sure they have contain elements and not allow him to do that. But he did a good job, and they got 10 seconds off. Now they'll squib kick it down the middle. So I think some good, sound coaching decisions right now by Laurier.
They have enough faith in their defense that they figure they can just take the 2 and go into the locker room up by 3, as opposed to a punt that likely wouldn't have gone more than 30, maybe even 25 yards, putting Western in field goal position. They'll take the 2 instead of 3. It's a difference of only a point, but every little bit counts, especially in a low-scoring game like this where the score is only 10-7. So we'll see what Western can do with about half a minute. I think of more importance maybe is the 10 seconds that Peffer ran off the clock.
It's huge because I think Western will get the ball back with perhaps just under 20 seconds left.
Peffer drives it right down the middle, and it's fielded by Taylor, who goes right through the blockers and is taken down. 25.9 to go. The ball at the Western 52.
Well, they certainly have a chance to move into field goal range.
They need about 20 yards here. Certainly time for a few plays. They started to put together some nice mid-range passes on that last drive, and they need a couple of those here to try to line up for the game-tying field goal heading into the halftime break. Bone rolls out to his right, throws low and incomplete for McDougall. He had him, but on the run he put it into the ground, and second down now for the Mustangs.
Well, they did. They just, are running him to the wide side of the field, and if he had set up and got his feet set, if you see on the replay there, he's throwing and he throws into the ground, and Matt McDougall was open, and again Matt McDougall fell, and I hope his cleats are all right.
Fake handoff, Bone in trouble, a loose pressure initially, but then it's brought down. And this time it's Emerson Gurdett with the play. And we're talking about the Mustangs maybe getting to field goal range. They end up losing 4 yards, and they'll have to punt.
Third down.
Well, he's certainly having trouble finding receivers open downfield, and initially he did have the protection. You see here in the replay, he's getting chased around, and they're not able to keep the Laurier defenders out for very long, that's for sure.
Laurier will be content to have this clock run down, hit zeros with the lead in their hands. Medeiros. He's going to let this play clock wind down to 0 before he kicks it. They're going to call a roughing the kicker penalty. Ouellette will field the punt, return it. Be interesting to see what Western does here.
Well, they get one play on the offense.
First down.
So that brings the ball to just inside Laurier territory. So a Hail Mary try now with the wind at their back, potentially. Nowhere near field goal range after that penalty still. So they get an untimed down to finish this half, as the half can't end on a defensive penalty. I'm honestly surprised Western doesn't just decline this and just go to the half, because there's very little chance of scoring.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a 15-yard penalty or a 15-yard penalty and a first down.
I think it'd be a first down either way.
There's an option on that unnecessary roughs up to have it carried over to the next half. It shall.
So they're going to carry that penalty over to the second half.
Stand by. We got to wait to chat with Coach Marshall.
And that will be the halftime break. I didn't know you could do that. So it'll be 10-7 Laurier at the half. They have to be content with that heading into the break. Western's defense doing a good job to keep it at only 10, but they have to be concerned about their offense so far, Nigel.
Well, they certainly do. They haven't been successful in terms of moving the football, and that's something that they're going to have to clear up as well. They're going to have to do something about the pass protection and the route running by the receivers. Receivers aren't getting open. I mean, there's a whole host of things they can fix at.
All right, we go down to John Urban.
Quickly here with Coach Greg Marshall. Coach, you've won 18 Yates Cup championships between your coaching and your playing days. It may be a bit of a loaded question, but what does it take a football program to do to be the pinnacle of success in the OUA?
Well, you know what, it's consistency, and you know, we got to play a little more consistent in the second half today. We certainly hope to be back there, but Laurier is doing a good job. So we're gonna get, we'll get it right, and settle Stevenson down and come out and play good football in the second half.
Through the first half of play, is it a case of the Western offense sputtering or the Laurier making the appropriate adjustments?
Laurier's doing a good job. We're missing some open guys. We made some plays. We got to do a better job in protecting, but we'll get it right the second half.
They haven't beat the Western Mustangs since 2006. Best of luck in the second half, Coach. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Thank you very much, John. Greg Marshall's going to be probably pretty mad going into the locker room. He's going to have a lot to tell his team as they trail 10-7 in a game they're expected to win, but it's the playoffs. You never know what's going to happen. Laurier 10, Western 7. We'll be back with second half action in about 13 minutes' time.
It's game day. Today, tomorrow, every day. And Game Face is our only face. We're not normal. Normal doesn't run everywhere or take a stopwatch to everything. Normal doesn't dedicate itself to never letting its customers down. Not a single one. Never, ever, ever. Normal doesn't live to beat the rush. Obsessed about out-the-door times? That's not normal. Counting pepperoni in your sleep? Not normal. Normal is average. Normal is ordinary. Normal is what people expect. Normal doesn't have pizza sauce flowing through its veins. The other guy is normal. That's why no one delivers like we do.
After the final ball has flown, and the final catch made, and the last screaming fan has left the stadium, the ball is passed from one team member to the next so the players can sign their names. But of all the names, there is one on that ball that is perhaps the most important. That name is Wilson. Good luck this season.
Time. It lets us plan to dream, plan to learn, plan to succeed, plan to invest, plan to enjoy, plan to help, plan to leave to others. The Plan by Investors Group, helping you provide for the people you care about, now and over time.
Hi, my name is Daryl Wad. This is Rory Conop. We play defensive line for the Western Mustangs. Today we're going to teach you guys a quick drill about defensive line. So today we're going to teach you guys a quick drill to pass rush the quarterback. A major thing is getting hands and hips. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a partner. Okay, it's really simple and easy. You don't need any pads out for this. You and a partner. What you're gonna do is one partner is gonna pretend to be the offensive lineman. The other one's gonna be the defensive lineman. The one who's the offense, they're gonna put their hand on your chest just like this. Okay, bending the knees. You're gonna take both of your hands, swiping across, hitting the end of the arm, and turning your hips at the same time. So just like this. Okay, and you can reset. Try it again, boom, then you switch with your partner. Daryl Wad, Rory Conop, that was a double hand SWAT drill.
Hey, my name's Greg Nyhoff. I'm a fourth-year receiver with the Laurier Golden Hawks, and today we're going to be learning the speed cut, specifically on the speed out route. So getting right into it, as you can see, I've got cones set up. We're making our cut at 5 yards down the field, and as you can see by the contour of the cones, our main focus here is to work our way back downhill so that the defender can't undercut the route. Now the main teaching points with this route are, first of all, your takeoff. You want to come off the line quick to make the defender think that you're going deep down the field. And the second most important part is accelerating out of your cut. That's why it's called the speed cut. And the third thing to keep in mind is coming back downhill. So coming slow, we come out here, we attack our defender, we plant a foot in the ground hard, we build speed through our speed cut. As we turn the corner, we get our head around and we work back downhill to our quarterback. We make the catch and we turn upfield and score. Pretty simple. So I'm Greg Nyhoff. Our main points of emphasis are building speed around the corner and working back downhill to the quarterback, and that's how you run a speed cut.
There's an intangible factor that makes the difference between winners and losers. Some label it spirit, some call it drive, determination, or desire. Whatever the tag, there is no doubt that the 1976 Western Mustangs possessed an abundance of it. There was a special attitude with the 76 team, which began in the hot August afternoons where unsympathetic coaches prodded the hordes of rookies and veterans through a rigorous 3-a-day workouts. The freshmen and veterans blended into a unit of players with one collective goal: to play their hearts out for each other game by game. That oneness paid off with Western's third Vanier Cup in 6 years. Through the 76 season, the intense team spirit rescued Western when it appeared the team was in trouble on the field. When extra effort was needed, the individuals performed to their maximum. In particular, it happened against Laurier, against Windsor in the playoffs, and again against Acadia in the Vanier Cup. Trailing Acadia 13-7 at halftime, the Mustangs retained their spirit without showing a trace of thinking the Vanier Cup may be out of reach. The game is winnable, but will require extra effort from everyone in this room. That was head coach Darwin Simoniak's final request to the players in that halftime dressing room. The coaches had made halftime adjustments, the players had confidence, but to put it all together and overcome the leading Acadia Axemen, the team would have to draw on that special ingredient for success. The results are history. A first-class football game. A classic comeback victory by Western, winning 29-13. An unsung backup fullback, Bill Rosanowski, winning the Ted Morris Trophy as the game's MVP. Just praise was given to Western's depth, its skilled coaches, the talent of individual players, and the surprising execution of the freshmen. The team's success was the result of all these factors and more. The unity and spirit that never let down from the first day of camp. Western's captain, Kevin Spink, summed it up. The Vanier Cup typified our whole season. We could have gone under, but just like the rest of our games, we fought for each other and we came back from adversity. The 1976 Vanier Cup champions, Mustang legends.
We all know how this thing ends. Now let's talk about what got me here. Maybe it was when I made my post move. Or maybe it was at the line of scrimmage when I fought my way free. Or maybe it was before the play even started. That's when I told myself, when the ball is in the air, nobody brings it down but me.
Where the Western Mustangs currently trail the Laurier Golden Hawks 10-7 as we start the third quarter. The kickoff happened from midfield because of a 15-yard penalty at the end of the first half, and the kick hit the upright. So instead of probably going out at the back of the end zone, it ends up being...
Well, it's a huge advantage for Laurier because Western doesn't get to pin them in and doesn't get a chance at a point. So
likely would have been a point for Western had that gone through. And now Campbell on first down has a ton of space to go, and it's a big gain on first down. Dylan Campbell with a big gain. Yeah, you're right. That's a big break for Laurier to hit the upright on that kick. Saves them a point. As Dylan Campbell on first down with a big run. He had 14 carries for 71 yards in the first half. And now in the second half, off to a good start.
Well, they certainly got the edge on the short side on that play, and you saw his speed. Once he got to the outside, he just went down, and 22-yard gain to start the half.
James Fracas in the first half, 3 of 7 for 9 yards. Yet here they are with the lead on the road, and he's going to have to call a timeout on the second play of the half.
Timeout?
Well, it looked like they were still in motion. They didn't have themselves set, and the play clock was all the way down. So rather than take a penalty, he decides to take the timeout.
Lone Star Texas Grill on Richmond.
Looking at the first half stats, Laurier had 6 first downs to Western's 8 first downs, but Laurier is winning the battle on the ground, 109 yards to Western's 76. But really, the big difference for Western in that first half was the fact that they kept giving themselves second and long situations, and the coverage downfield against Stevenson Bone was good, giving Laurier a lot of time to pressure Bone. That was one of our keys to the game, and they've been able to get at Bone. They've sacked him 3 times, and they forced him into some tough throws.
Well, they certainly have, and first half belongs to that defensive line for Laurier. They won that battle for sure.
Kwaku Boateng has 3 sacks in this game, which is incredible. They actually have 4 as a team. And now 1st and 10 after the timeout is a run. It's Dylan Campbell up the middle, and he'll gain 6. Up to about the 49-yard line. Laurier will take the wind here in the third quarter, which means Western will have it going home in the fourth.
Well, very similar style to how they started the game with some power offense up front and making the play calls quickly.
Fracas in charge behind the line. He's in shotgun on 2nd and 4. The run has been good so far with Campbell in this third quarter. They're going to fake it. And he goes outside to Pizzuti, but that throw carried him backwards, and I'm not sure they had enough, and this will be about a yard or so short of the first down.
Yeah, it was a good coverage on the play by Josh Woodman.
You could see that throw was so far outside that they didn't give Pizzuti a chance, and we've got an update with John Urban.
Thank you very much, Christian. This happened right in front of me on the sidelines, and I've never seen such a healthy spot by a zebra in my OUA football career that has everybody in an uproar in a purple and white jersey right now on the Mustang side of things. and they're even arguing with the officials right now as to where that ball should go. But the second he placed it about 2 or 3 yards up the field, that got everybody's reaction going instantly. So it's safe to say the officials aren't making too many friends right now to start off the second half of play. Guys?
Thanks, John. I think the big issue with this one is where he caught the ball as opposed to where he actually went down. I think he caught the ball and then was driven backwards. His momentum took him backwards, and the refs in Western, I guess, have a different opinion. You can see Josh Woodman pointing to where he thinks it is. And it's going to be short.
It's still going to be a yard short, I think a good yard short, but unless you see the replay, we really don't know when the forward momentum was stopped, and the official had to make that call.
Well, in either way, we're going to see a punt here from Laurier. They're not going to go for it.
Or a fake punt.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
This would probably be a good time to unearth a trick play if you got it.
Well, this is playoff football.
We've seen some trick plays here in the past. I remember a couple years ago, Windsor tried a fake field goal kick, but it was returned the other way for a touchdown by Western in a first-round game. Pardon me, they're going for it here. And Campbell lost the football. It's recovered by Western. He was short anyway.
He was short anyway, but fortunately on the fumble, Western recovered the fumble, because if Laurier had, they would have had a first down because it was past the first down marker.
Would have been an unconventional first down, but in the end, Western will take over at midfield. Great field position.
Well, we'll see if this can ignite the Western offense and if they can do something positive here.
I'm somewhat surprised they went for it here because of the way Western's offense has been driving. San Vito on first down. Carries a few defenders with him near the first down marker.
Well, every time Garrett Sanvito's had the ball in this game, he really has run hard and got all the yards through some really tough running.
The one thing I wonder about is we have a Laurier player down. If they do decide to punt that with the wind, Western's going to get the ball deep in their own territory, and they haven't really been able to drive the ball all that well. By going for it, you're saying we've got faith in our defense that even if we do turn it over, they're not going to give up points. So we might as well go for the risk. But at the same time, they've been winning the field goal position or the field position battle all game, and they kind of go away from that strategy here earlier in the third quarter.
Well, they did a bit, but it's been Dylan Campbell has not been caught behind the line of scrimmage, I believe, all day. And even when he does get hit, he still gets back and manages to gain a yard. So perhaps that was factored into their thinking for sure.
Zante Mizan has helped off the field. The OUA Defensive Football Player of the Week, Derek Wiggin, a fifth-year defensive lineman from the Queens Gales. In the final game of his career, he scored his first career touchdown as the Gales knocked off Carleton 37-15, ending Carleton's playoff hopes. Bowen on first down with the sneak up the middle. It was second and about a yard. Manages to get more than enough for that first down.
Well, congratulations to Wiggins. He's had an outstanding career down at Queens. He's an excellent defensive lineman and really anchored that defense down at Queens. So congratulations for him finishing off his CIS career.
Bittersweet end to that for the Gales. Tough season for them. They weren't able to make the playoffs after a Yates Cup defeat last year in this building. San Vito on first down carries about 3 yards. And they'll get to about the 40, but San Vito slow to get up here. And he's going to stay down.
Well, number 44 from his linebacking position came in and made the tackle. That's Sam Montezeri. He's been in the backfield a couple times, and he's still, I think he's coming from his Sam backer position.
The Offensive Player of the Week, Austin Kennedy. We saw him last week here at TD Stadium. He threw for 293 yards and 3 touchdowns in the loss here to Western, which gave him 79 career touchdown passes, tying Josh Sokobe's OUA career touchdown passing record. He also had 109 rushing yards on the afternoon. Right now at halftime, those Lancers are trailing at home to the Ottawa GGs 30-16. And the Special Teams Player of the Week is Lewis Ward, the kicker for the GGs, those GGs that are currently winning at Windsor. He had a perfect day, going 5 for 5 last Saturday on field goals, converting all 3 extra points to beat the McMaster Marauders 38-18. That was McMaster's only loss of the season. And the OUA Male Athlete of the Week, familiar face here at the football field, that's Yannick Carew, third-year King's College student, helped the Mustangs secure third place with a 43-21 win over the Lancers. He had 217 yards on the ground on 21 carries to give the Mustangs the home field advantage in today's game. And they are currently trailing, with Yannick Carew having 9 carries for 57 yards so far in this afternoon's affair. And he gets the ball on first down, and he bursts through all the way up to the 25-yard line, fighting to the 24. Big run for Carew on first down.
Well, that last delay after the Garrett Sanvito run, he was injured there, and the training staff went out, and he gingerly limped off, and let's hope that he's all right.
Well, last week, Sanvito was pretty much knocked out of action, and Carew carried the load and then some, having a huge game on the ground. Does his best when seemingly Sanvito's out. A sweep play here to Sinclair, and it doesn't have much, but Sinclair manages to squirm away. It looked like that was dead in the water, and he manages to get a gain of a couple as we go down to John Urban.
Thanks once again, Christian. Looking over my left shoulder, you'll see Sanvito being attended to. I also wanted to talk about Laurier's number 91, Asante Mizan. Nigel, I've actually heard you mention his name quite a few throughout the first half of play. He's like a James Bond martini, shaken but not stirred, and he should come back into this game anytime now. Back to you in the booth.
Thank you, John. Injuries, they seem to be more common when the weather gets cold, and especially at the end of the season, a long, arduous season. The pitch on second down to Taylor. He's brought down by his jersey. Very close to a horse collar, but not a horse collar. He just had the jersey.
No, they've been having a lot of trouble blocking number 99, S.E. Marabura Jufo, defensive end, and he's really plagued Western's offensive line and makes a great defensive play there. It was actually took Alex Taylor down for a loss.
Loss of 2 on the play, and that brings up a field goal attempt for Medeiros. He's 1 of 2 on the day. He made a 30-yard field goal, missed. No, he's 1 for 1. What am I talking about? It's Laurier, that's 1 for 2. They tried the long field goal. This one is from 29 yards. It's plenty of leg, and that will tie the game. Zach Medeiros, no problem on that one, and we are tied at 10, just under 11 to go here in the third quarter.
Well, we see that Western's offense took the turnover and it certainly got some points out of it, but they're going to have to put some majors up on the board if they hope to improve their standing, that's for sure.
So the tie game, Western, despite all their troubles today, they're going to call a timeout here as Poulin was running in from the sideline. They didn't have enough people on the field, and wisely calling a timeout in the middle of that one was Preston Huggins, because this was going to be a mess. You don't want one of your top linebackers out in the middle when you've got Dylan Campbell running straight through.
No, but my concern is that after a change of possession, why isn't the player ready to go out with his team? That's, to me, another bigger issue.
So both teams have had to burn a timeout within the first minutes of this third quarter, leaving them each with only 1 left for the rest of this game, a tight game.
Right, you've seen that kind of mistake that comes from the sideline players not being mentally ready, and then you've seen a couple of undisciplined penalties as well. So this is playoff football, and if you hope to keep moving forward as a team, those are things that are going to have to be taken right off the charts, because you will not win playing that kind of football.
So Fracas and the Golden Hawks will start here in the third quarter after they had their first possession end in a midfield fumble. That pass is going to be dropped, intended for Greg Nyhoff. It hit his hands, and both teams have had a few drops here in this game as neither team can get the passing game going.
Well, he couldn't, and it was a well-thrown football, but I'll give credit to Simon Baru, who had great coverage on the play, and I think he might have got his hand in there as well, and he's certainly bothering the receiver in terms of him trying to concentrate on the football.
2nd and 10. Fracas is 3 of 8 on the day. Back to pass over the middle, has Arkarakis, who fights ahead for the first down, up to the 46-yard line, just enough for a first down.
Well, there you see a good throw. He just curls up. He's got his first down, and Jean-Gabriel Poulin, trying to make the tackle, has done something to his shoulder again and has to run off the field, or his elbow.
He's been in and out of the defense so far today. Fracas, they're going to pass it again. A dangerous, dangerous play. There was nothing there as he tried to force the ball to Pizzuti, and they're lucky that that was an incompletion, to be honest.
Well, you're right. He's trying to force the ball in there, and Josh Woodman, again, great coverage on the play from his field half position.
And now Woodman's holding on to his, looks like his right arm, maybe? He's really letting that hang there, and he's going to stay in the game. He's definitely feeling some kind of pain in his right wrist or arm area. He's going to stay in. I think he probably took a helmet to the arm there.
Could be something like that. Let's hope. It's nothing too serious, I hope.
He's staying in the game. 2nd and 10. Fracas looking left. Airs it out. And that ball is going to be incomplete, as it was a jump ball. Multiple receivers in the area, or defenders in the area. Only one receiver. 3 purple jerseys back there.
3rd down.
And Fracas gets away with one as Woodman's still feeling pain.
Well, Jordan Bailu from his safety position had good coverage on top, but even better coverage, Carl Lobos was there as well. Here you see the replay. Fracas throws it up. Carl Lobos is up there knocking it down, as was the safety coming over. So good coverage by Western's defense.
So in a 10-all game, another punt. Peffer from his own 33 will get the snap. Send Vito and Haru back to receive. And it's a pretty good kick. Caught by Haru. And he will be tackled at the 28-yard line, and that is where Western will start with the ball.
Well, again, field position playing a role here. This time Laurier gets a good punt. Western now starting from the 29-yard line. They'll need to put together a drive that ends with some sort of touchdown if they hope to sort of take over the momentum of this game. So far, they haven't been able to do that.
We remember Greg Marshall at the halftime break saying that they want to settle Bone down because he has been a little bit erratic so far in this game. That last drive, it was with the running game that they were able to get into field goal range, though they were blessed with good field position to start that drive. They're going to have to air it out at some point, but right now they're going to keep it on the ground, and it's Taylor. Taylor with a strong first down run gets it to the 43-yard line.
Well, there you see the quick opener up the middle, and Alex Taylor shows his good speed and vision, gets up inside, and produces a good first down play.
First down coming up again. Out east in the AUS semifinal. It's 11-6 for Acadia, as we have an update with John Urban.
Very quickly, Nigel, you see the Western players huddling around J.G. Pouillon, and even though they don't want me to see what's wrong with him, you can clearly tell that it is the elbow as they've taken off that guard. He dislocated that elbow in a road game at a victory over the Waterloo Warriors. 2 things I wanted to mention before sending it back to you. For those that don't have the warm comfort of a play booth, nudge, nudge, you got to have 2 things in the stands, a nice blanket and a nice cup of hot cocoa. Hopefully you got yours in the booth, guys.
We don't need ours in the booth because we have insulation. Not to brag, but it's kind of cozy up here. Meanwhile, we are concerned, obviously, about the health of Poulin, as he, again, he's had an up and down season. He's been such a good player for this team when he's been healthy, but he's had struggles after that elbow injury, and there are a lot of guys around him on the sideline there. 2nd down and 1, as Taylor gets a few touches here. They're going to say that Taylor was down by contact before the ball came out, but Taylor getting a few carries here to start this drive for Western. 3rd touch of this series.
Well, there you see that he shows his quickness. He gets up into the hole very quickly and uses his speed to his advantages, and so far he's been the workhorse on this drive.
One thing about Taylor is his ball security issues, as well as he's had a couple lost fumbles on the season. And there we saw another one. Play was over, but still. Another handoff, this time again to Taylor. And he will not gain much more than 2 yards in this one.
Taylor with a gain of 2.
Oh, well, the boundary half, Chris Aki came up, number 21, was able to stretch the play out, and that probably falls down on receivers downfield, not getting the blocking done there.
Again, all with the rushing game, and Western, if they can keep it on the ground and be successful, they don't need to throw the ball, and that'll be huge for them going forward here. Bone, he's going to throw this one, and he's got a man. It's McDougall, and he's brought down at the 39.
Well, that was the first time they had a 2nd and long on this drive. They had good first down plays all the way, and they were able to use the run. So here they were, and they just threw the out route to Matt McDougall, and were successful, and now they're marching the ball.
Western trying to recapture some of the offensive mojo they've used this season in being the top scoring team in the province. They hung 61 on this Golden Hawks team just weeks ago, but today deadlocked in a 10-all tie in the third quarter. Taylor up the middle, squirms ahead to about the 36-yard line.
Well, again, another good play by the linebacker, number 44 for Laurier, and
Sam Montezeri.
Sam Montezeri has made a number of good plays, and now we have, looks like another player down.
I believe this is a Mustang who's down. Yeah, it's another Western Mustang. This time it's George Johnson who's on the ground. Tell me about how the injuries can be more common in the cold like this.
Well, I'm not sure if it is really related to the cold. I mean, we've seen a number of them. I mean, you see a lot of injuries in the first game in September when the heat is. It just sometimes feels like the hit is harder because it's cold. But I think the injuries are more related to just luck of the draw, not really the weather.
As Johnson hobbles off, we go down to John Urban.
Good and bad news on the sidelines for the Western Mustangs. The good news is Josh Woodman appears to be okay, and that's a huge thing for the Western defense. He had 5 interceptions during the regular season for the Purple and White. He's going to be fine and come back into this contest. But on the flip side, the bad news, J.G. Pouillon, he's a question mark to say the least. It appears to be that same elbow. I know everybody from Mustangs TV hopes him the best of luck for him, and we need him to have a safe and a healthy recovery if we're going to be successful in the playoff stretch. Guys?
I think it's safe to say if it's his elbow, they're going to shut him down for today at the very least. 2nd down and 6. Big second down here. The run to Taylor again. He's unable to get away, and he may have lost a yard.
Right, there was nothing there on the right side, and good defense there.
So they're going with a heavy dose of Alex Taylor instead of Yannick Haru here in this series. Interesting call. And now Haru comes in for 3rd down.
Well, here we go. Coach Marshall is 3rd and 6, going for it rather than kicking a long field goal into the wind.
Well, it's a 41-yard field goal from here, which is longer than any that Medeiros has hit all season.
And it's into that wind.
So if you're playing percentages, this is probably your best chance. Bone, he's flushed out. He throws it, and that is going to be incomplete. I was going to say, if that was intercepted, that would probably be worse for the Laurier team, but instead, an incomplete pass, and Laurier will take over on downs. That play never really had a chance. Great coverage down the field. And with a 10-all tie late in this 3rd quarter, we will be back in just a little bit on Mustangs TV.
My Western experience so far has been phenomenal.
My experience at Western this far has been unforgettable.
It's astounding.
Unique.
Very memorable.
And it kind of just picks you up in week 1 and says, get out here, don't be afraid to be yourself.
Western really lives up to the #1 student experience.
You really get the sense that you are part of something here.
What I love about this place is that everybody here loves it. Everyone takes pride in being a Western Mustang.
Yes, you come to university to learn and study,
but as well you're here for the other things that the university offers.
Being part of clubs, being part of teams.
Western is this great campus, and there are so many opportunities.
Everything is there for you. When you see the juggling club, you see the dancing clubs, you just see everything you could possibly want.
I want to experience something new, and I want to try things that I've never tried before.
To meet new people, meet great professors.
Professors here are awesome.
They tend to be interested in what you are interested in.
And they really try hard to make you feel welcome.
The importance of having this student experience is really that it's something that's going to last you for the rest of your life.
When I think of Western, everything is possible.
I want everybody to have, the same great experience that I've had here.
And when I stepped on Western campus, it just felt right.
Laurier takes over on downs after Western is unable to pick up a first down on 3rd and 6. Take another look at that play after Laurier does something here on first down. Fracas runs with Campbell, and he will be dragged down at the 41-yard line after the first down gain there. So a gain up to 40 as Campbell's had a solid day on the ground. Western has done a good job of making sure he doesn't get any big plays, but he's been able to get 5 yards here, 7 yards there.
Well, he's had, 2 good big plays. He had that one to start off the half, the 22-yard run, and then he had another one that was called back on a holding call on the screen.
For the most part, Western has done a fine job containing the top rusher in Ontario. Over the middle, the pass is knocked away by Simon Baru.
That was good coverage by Simon Baru, reaching in with his left hand. The ball was thrown well, but Simon Baru had great coverage on the play, so Western defense comes through here.
So they force a punt after a 2-and-out there.
Here you see Fracas, he throws, and Simon Baru reaches in, able to knock the ball away.
Very tight window there, looking for Pizzuti. Meanwhile, in Windsor, about 7 minutes left in the third. Ottawa still leads 37-23 as they try to book a ticket to the second round. If Western wins and Ottawa wins, well then Ottawa will go to McMaster next Saturday. That's a short kick fielded by Haru at the 30. And he will gain about 2 yards after that, as neither team has been able to get much in the terms of return yards in today's game.
No, good coverage by the Laurier coverage team and a good tackle as well.
John Urban has some news for us, John.
Thank you once again, Christian. You're looking at George Johnson on the Western bench. He actually has his right knee iced up. Also having his hand looked at was James Safakis. He's one of the 2 Western Mustangs that want to go to the Vanier Cup for more than one reason. Their hometown is Montreal, Quebec. Could you imagine capturing a national championship where you were born and raised? I couldn't. Back to you guys in the booth.
Well, before they start worrying about the Vanier Cup, they've got to start worrying about today's game. They're locked in a battle here, 10-all with the Laurier Golden Hawks here. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Yannick Haru takes the first down carry and is stuffed after a gain of about 2. He was met at the line of scrimmage and fell forward for those yards. And again, a good surge by that defensive line.
Well, they had trouble moving number 90 there. He really dug in, Emerson Gourdette, and certainly not the first down yardage that you want to pick up. And now you're faced with a 2nd and 7, long 8, short 8, pardon me, and it's a much different call for the play.
Western has struggled significantly on 2nd and long today. They managed to pick up first downs on short yardage runs, but through the air, it's been a long day for them. Bone sets, throws, and it's caught by Sinclair at the Western 47 for a first down.
Well, a good throw and catch. Stevenson Bone took the snap, he rolled out, got his shoulders turned, his feet squared, and set, and then threw a strike, and Adam runs the hook, and they get enough for the first down.
You can see on the sideline there Josh Woodman getting his right arm taped up. So it was his right arm. He was holding it pretty limp on that last defensive series. It's his elbow there that seems to be the issue. We'll check on that. It's on first down. Taylor gets the carry, and he is knocked down. And the ball is out again. And again, they're going to say down by contact. But Taylor's put the ball on the turf twice now. But the play was called dead before it happened.
Well,
so they're going to call a gain of about 2 on that play.
here you see the previous play where Stevenson Bone turns around, throws to Adam. He's got a man right on him, makes a good catch, and gets the first down.
Good job by Bone planting his feet on that rollout. He had to put as much as he could into that one, throwing it into the wind. You could see the ball wobbled on him, but it was accurate, and Sinclair made a good play. 2nd and 8. Bone. It's high for McDougall, but he makes the play, and McDougall to the Laurier 50 for a first down.
Well, good throw and catch. Matt McDougall in there for the injured Brian Marshall, showing his strength as a receiver and good route running, good catch.
12-yard gain there as they've converted twice now on 2nd and long. 2nd and 8, 2nd and 7-ish. They've been turning it around a bit in the passing game this drive. And on first down from the Laurier 50, Bone fakes the handoff to Taylor, holds it, gets a little too much air under that one. Shaq Johnson is demanding a flag from the ref, looking for a holding call. He's emphatic about that.
Well, a number of players down there are helping him on the sidelines, saying that perhaps should have been called. We'll have to check in the replay, but
Bone had a lot of time to throw that one, and
he did have good pass protection.
Oh, they got a man to jump, it looked like. This throw to Johnson, and a flag flies. I do not think they were actually going to call offside there. Bone seemed to react like it was a free play.
It was a free play. I think a flag was thrown by the official. The ball got snapped, and then he had a free play and it looks like he got the interference call, which is going to be a first down. So good heads-up play by the center and by Bone and Shaquille Johnson.
I never saw a flag after the snap, though, that would have indicated offside. But in the end, they call a pass interference, and that was an easy one as there was a quick shove there.
Yeah.
As Godfrey Onyeka gets called for the pass interference penalty, which keeps this drive alive for the Mustangs. Down to the 35 now. A 3 second down and longs they've converted. Sinclair brought down at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to have to do it again. Their 4th second down now, and they've all been of at least 7 yards on this drive.
Well, they're having a lot of trouble blocking number 44, Sam Montezeri, who always seems to be in the western backfield.
See, it looked like the end jumped there, but I never saw a flag go down, and in the end they get a gain on the penalty. Bone going deep. Sinclair, he can't make the catch. No penalty goes down, and it will be 3rd down and 10 coming up from the 35.
Well, a good coverage by Laurier. They were right with Adam Sinclair, and the ball was right there. It would have been a great catch.
Good coverage there.
It was good coverage. Here you see it on the replay. Adam Sinclair goes down. He's running against number 21, Chris Aki, and he stayed with him on the inside and able to knock the ball down.
Just good defense. As Western will now look to pin the Golden Hawks deep. Madero's kicking from Laurier's 48-yard line.
And now I'm going to say here Western should fake it.
Maderos is going to kick it. And it's a short one. It's going to bounce up to the 10-yard line. He'll take a knee. And a flag goes out for a no yards penalty.
Up to the 10-yard line. Late flag on the play.
So Laurier will get the ball. And they'll get some yards added onto this because of the no yards penalty.
Mustang fans, the T-shirt cannon's making its appearance today. The more noise you make, the farther up they go.
The other day someone said to me, for every door there is a key, and on the other side there's what will be. What will be? On the other side there's what will be.
When you find the one and only, there's nothing like it.
Waning moments of the third quarter here at TD Stadium, about 39 seconds to play before the end of the third, as Laurier has the ball starting from their own 12-yard line. So Western trying to play the field position battle, as Laurier does not have a lot of time left with the wind at their back. So if they're to punt, it'll likely be kicking from the other end of the field, where the wind will be in their face.
Western Mustangs and Will Finch. And Will, honestly, I just got to ask you, it's been obviously a roller coaster of emotions throughout the season, some highs and lows. First of all, how are you feeling, and kind of reminisce on the season, if you will?
I'm feeling pretty good right now, recovering. Every day I'm feeling a bit better. The season, I think, we had some ups and downs, but we just need to execute, and I think we'll get there.
I know it's probably eating you up inside to be the cheerleader on the sidelines for this game. The Western Mustangs still have yet to get a touchdown so far, but it's really the Laurier defense that has been the difference maker in this game so far. What are some of the things that you see the away team doing well?
Well, anytime you're on the sidelines, it's tough, but
a little different.
You want to be in there, but Laurier's adjusted well, and I think at this point we just need to execute and run the ball well, and it was going to be a couple big plays, and we'll be back in there, so we'll be good.
Will Finch, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much.
Guys.
Thank you very much, John. As the third quarter has come to a close, it's going to be a third down coming up for the Laurier Golden Hawks, but the big thing is they're going to be punting against the wind now, as opposed to kicking with the wind at their back. That's huge for Western. They'll get the ball back with pretty good field position at the start of the fourth quarter. It is 10 for Laurier, 10 for Westerns. Buckle up, fourth quarter. It's playoff action in the OUA on Mustangs TV.
Presented by Pizza Pizza. Before the game, after the game, visit.
Build anything with the redesigned 2014 Toyota Tundra. Tough enough for any project.
Law has just always been a passion of mine. It's something I've known I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. There was never anything that was going to stop me from coming to law school and from becoming a lawyer. My dad was always my #1 support. Like all good parents, he wanted the things for his kids that he could never have. Being a student that has always demonstrated financial need, it's been difficult to feel like there's been somebody to help you. And for the first time when I received this money, it felt like somebody had given me a break. I don't know if there are words that could convey how grateful and how impactful their donation was and what it's done for me. It affects me every day in everything I do, in my school and my personal life. Knowing that we would have this money changed both of our lives. Thank you for supporting Student Dreams.
Welcome back to TD Stadium. Fourth quarter action just beginning here as the first play of the fourth will be a punt. No, it's going to be a safety. So Laurier will elect to give Western the lead. The third safety conceded on the day by the Golden Hawks. That's where 6 of Western's 12 points have come. Interesting call, as they'd rather give them bad field position thinking they can make up those points. I'm not sure they can.
Well, interesting call too, and I was surprised that he didn't try to, might as well run some seconds off the clock.
Maybe he's thinking that they'll end up needing the time to score. So Western will get the ball back now with a lead, 12-10. No touchdowns on the day for them. They have 2 field goals and 3 safeties. Out in Windsor, it is still 37-23 for the GGs after 3 quarters of play there. Out east, Acadia leads St. FX 12-8. Again, that's about as offensively challenged as this one is. So Peffer will kick from his 35. The wind is a little bit less than it was earlier. Flags aren't quite howling as much.
Guy's offside.
Kick fielded, a pretty short one by Taylor. He eludes a few tacklers before getting the ball across midfield. A solid return from Taylor. And you've noticed this a couple times, Nigel. You keep saying that the Laurier special teams unit is offside at the kick.
Well, I'm right on the line here, and they're just, the officials are just letting them get away with it. It's not a major deal, but it is a step advantage.
But on that one, it was Western with a good return as Taylor brings it up into Laurier territory. So the whole strategy of taking the safety to avoid giving Western good field position ultimately backfires, I believe.
Well, I still think in terms of field position, they have a pretty good field position from a defensive point of view, because if he had punted, they probably would have been at the 35 or 30, which would really give Western a short field. So
it's not a, if you punted, it's almost a guaranteed field goal attempt, whereas
Correct.
Now they still have to gain those yards to get there. On first down, Bone's going to keep it. Bone is going to escape the initial man and will get down to the 46, but there is a flag down on the play. And it's going to be on Western.
Well, it's another offside by Western's offense, and these mistakes continue to plague them. So now Laurier's faced with the decision, 2nd and 4 or
1st and 15.
1st and 15.
I think that's an easy one.
Offside, Western, 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Yeah, so now they're looking at 1st and 15, and on the kickoff, we didn't mention, but Brandon Calver, the linebacker for Laurier, who's played a big part in this game, had to be helped off, and he still hasn't come back.
Second-year player from London. Big part of this Laurier defense. First down and 15. Bone to pass on first down. He has all kinds of time. He'll unleash an underthrown ball, and it is incomplete. This could be offensive pass interference.
Be interesting to see what they say. The ball is well underthrown, and Justin Sanvito was trying to get back to the ball, and the defender was there, so who knows?
Pass interference, Laurier, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I'll have to take another look at that play if we could run that back one more time. I'm not sure that ball was really playable for San Vito.
Well, here you see the ball. They're both trying to come back. Justin's got his arm around the Laurier defender. Unless it happened earlier, I have no idea why that was why that was defensive pass interference.
Yeah, unless it
big break for Western.
Yeah, I thought for sure that was going to be offensive pass interference, the way that one went down. Huge break for the Mustangs, because that could have been 1st and 30. Haru up the middle to about the 40-yard line. He's knocked back. So a gain of about 2 on the play.
Well, it's not the type of first down play and yardage that you want to generate. But they're number 3, the end for Laurier came in, and he's been there a lot today. Kwaku Boateng has done a great job there, and
Boateng's been huge today for this Laurier defense with 8 total tackles and 3 sacks. Second down and 8. Bone has all kinds of time but has nowhere to go with it. Flag flies. Ball is batted away. Intended for McDougall, and we have another penalty down.
For McDougall.
A flag on the field.
Flag on the play.
This could be holding on Western, and it will be.
Well, the penalties start to mount up here. Western got a break on the previous one. Now, be it
Holding. Western.
They'll
That
probably
penalty
decline it.
declined. Third down.
They do decline it, and that will bring Medeiros onto the field.
Well, that time he had trouble finding an open receiver, and either the receivers have got to do a better job of getting open, or the quarterback has to, do a better job of finding the open receiver. It's tough to tell without the film, but they certainly aren't on the same page right now.
So we saw Peffer try a 49-yard field goal from this very spot, and now Medeiros will try a 49-yard field goal. High snap. Kick has enough leg, and it is good from 49 yards. Zach Medeiros boots it through. A huge kick from Medeiros, and he's pumped up.
Well, it's certainly nice when you're on the 49-yard line to be able to put points up on the board, so great kick by that young man. Good snap and hold.
Just enough to get through. Dead straight, though. Huge boost for Western. They go up 5 as Laurier hasn't been able to put up any points since the first quarter. Under 13 to go. Western's defense now has a lead to work with. See if they can buckle down and hold on to this. Book a ticket to Guelph a week from today. Fracas turns and gives it. Run up the middle. It's not Campbell. This time it's Rashad Latouche for a few yards as we go down to John Urban.
Thanks once again, Christian. Taking a look over my right shoulder, you see George Johnson. He's a two-sport athlete. He actually plays as well for the men's basketball team for the Western Mustangs. He's got his knee iced up. He's done for the rest of the game. Over my left shoulder, Jeju Poulon. He's got the elbow guard off. It is iced up as well. He is done for the rest of the game. If you could believe it or not, guys, if the Western Mustangs were trailing 10-0, I told you, and they were going to come back to lead 15-10 in the fourth quarter without a major, you probably would call me crazy. But if they can find a TD, that might be the nail in the coffin that Greg Marshall and the offense is looking for.
Now you're right. Right now they have themselves a lead without scoring a touchdown, which is not something you would have expected coming into today's action. And now their defense has done a fantastic job with now a 2nd down and 7 coming for the Golden Hawks. Fracas alone in the backfield. He's pressured, and he will be brought down by Ricky Osikusi. Another sack for Osikusi, and on the season for him, that is now 5.5.
Well, good play by the defensive line there, and Fracas having the same difficulty that Bone is having. They're unable to find the open receiver downfield, so either give credit to the defensive secondaries of both teams who are doing a great job covering.
Now Laurier has to begin to worry about this offense. They need a touchdown to win it, and they haven't been able to get a first down in a while. Down 15-10. Peffer will punt it from his own 25-yard line. Wynn holds that one up. Haru to about midfield, and a flag will go down probably for no yards. Looking back now on that safety conceded by Laurier, Western ends up kicking a field goal anyway, so they really gave away 2 points for nothing. Tough and hot. It's easy in hindsight to say that. Because a 49-yarder is not a high percentage play.
No yards. Laurier, 15-yard penalty. First down, Western.
And now a 15-yard no yards penalty to Laurier as it's starting to come undone for them here in the fourth.
Well, the last time they were in, they were given the 5-yard penalty, and this time they were within the zone, so I guess the official thought they needed a reminder to protect that 5-yard zone and protect the returner.
Well, and now Western again has the ball inside Laurier's end to start this drive. Bone back to pass. Going deep, Shaquille Johnson's by his man. Shaquille Johnson, it's just outside his fingers. He was open. There was a bit of holding going on before the ball was released, but Johnson still managed to get away, and that ball just slightly overthrown.
Well, here Stevenson sets up, and he throws it nice and high, and the ball gets some air under it. And honestly, I thought the ball should have been caught. It looked like it was a little far ahead, but Shaquille really had an opportunity to run to the ball. And if you notice, he put his arm out, which slowed him down instead of running to the ball. I was going to say, it almost looked like he throttled down a bit at the end there. Taylor, he stretched to the outside. He stops and starts again and manages to get up to the 40-yard line. And that will not be enough for a first down. Interesting to see if Marshall decides to go for it on 3rd and 3, or if he brings Medeiros out again, who just hit a 49-yarder. And here comes Zach Medeiros. Well, it makes sense to get the 3 points now, because then it puts them, a converted touchdown ahead.
So Medeiros, fresh off hitting a 49-yard field goal, is now going to go for a 47-yard field goal. If he could hit these back-to-back, that is going to be huge. Medeiros, this kick is blocked. Blocked and recovered at about the 20-yard line. And there are flags down. Shouldn't you just leave that ball if you're Laurier?
Well, you should, and I think maybe we can take a look at it on the replay.
But first, Murray Drinkwalter with the call.
No yards, Western, 15-yard penalty, first down.
No yards called, and maybe that's why they went after the ball. So the ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, and the fact that Western tried to recover the kick there gives them the 15-yard penalty, because once the kick is blocked, Western can't recover it.
No, because it still crossed the line of scrimmage.
So the ball at the Laurier 35. Big job by their special teams to keep Western off the scoreboard. And we'll see if the offense can ride that here. Campbell on first down, puts his head down and gains about 9 yards on first down.
What a great run. Here he is. He's tackled just as he gets to the line of scrimmage, and he breaks through. And he's got people hanging on him, and he still almost gets the first down. Very impressive runner.
They need more of that from Campbell here if they want to emerge victorious. Second down, they only need about a foot, yet here they are lined up in shotgun. Handoff is to Campbell, and Campbell gets enough and some for the first down. They're just going to blow the whistle here as he gets to the 47-yard line. Gets enough for the first down.
Well, if you're Western, you certainly don't want to see Laurier making first downs into the wind, because it defeats the purpose of taking the wind in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. Over in Windsor, Ottawa's tacked on a safety. They're up 39-23 with about 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We'll keep an eye on that one for you. High snap to Fracas, and that high snap really stunted that play. It knocked the timing off between the handoff from Fracas to Campbell, and Campbell's dropped for a 2-yard loss.
He certainly is, and it was a high snap, and you watch the replay, but look at the balance and strength that Campbell has. Here you have a defensive end, Ricky Osikusi, coming in, has a free shot, and still doesn't take him, eventually gets him down, but Campbell showing his great balance and strength.
So a second and long. You have to wonder if they can get a decent chunk of this if they won't go for it on third down. Another low snap. The throw out to Arkarakis. He won't get the first down. Not really close. About 4 yards shy as he gets the ball just about to midfield.
Well, they're going to be looking at a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and so field position becomes important. I would really expect Laurier to punt the ball here.
And Peffer's onto the field. They will kick this one away and give it to their defense to try to get the ball back. And the defense, to their credit, I mean, Western had the field goal made and a field goal attempted, but the reality is they didn't gain many yards on those drives that ended in field goal attempts because of where the field position started. So if Western can, start a drive from way farther back than they have been, that's big for Laurier, as there are some flakes of possibly wet snow coming down. There aren't many, but certainly more than nothing. They run a fake punt up the middle, and they have the first down and some. They catch Western off guard.
Great call, and I was thinking the entire time this would be a perfect time for the time to do it on special teams. Yep.
First down, Hawks from the 40.
So Laurier with the first down. Greg Nyhoff catches it, goes up the middle. You've talked about it a number of times today that this would be a good time for fake punt. This would be a good time for fake punt. They finally go for it, and it was a huge play.
Well, I was thinking it honestly in my head that, what a great opportunity to win this game on a special teams play, and good for Laurier coaching staff to make that call at this juncture.
But they still need to keep going. They have the ball at Western's 40. This is the best drive they've had in some time, but can they make it worth something? Campbell gets the ball on first down. Can he get to the outside? Well, he gets a couple yards anyway. Good job even making that a positive gain play for Campbell.
He does, he shows his excellent running ability, and Malcolm Brown came up from his half position and really had to work hard to get him out of bounds. But, if Malcolm Brown's not there, he goes all the way.
And there's the fake punt as the ball is snapped directly to Greg Nyhoff. And great blocking, as there was a huge hole in the middle for him to gain about 15 yards on the fake punt. And now 2nd and 5, as they're definitely in 3-down territory now. Fracas has to throw it. He doesn't throw it to anybody.
He had to definitely throw it away, and if that's the one I would call grounding, because he threw it right to an offensive lineman.
Campbell was around there, though, so they won't call it. But
yeah, Campbell was way over to the right, and Fracas was throwing the ball like to where the blockers and the screen were setting up.
Now a big-time 3rd down. 7:40 and counting here in the 4th quarter. Laurier needs this. Fracas alone in the backfield. Has time, goes deep, and it's intercepted. Beaulieu with the pick. He had a pick 6 last week, and this time he makes a huge defensive play.
First down, Mustangs.
It's 10 for Laurier, 15 for Western. They have a 5-point lead and 7.5 minutes left. They have the ball, and they'll try to milk some of the clock here.
Scoreboards and athletic equipment to the Canadian athletic community since 1973, and our proud sponsor of Ontario.
Build anything with the redesigned 2014 Toyota Tundra. Tough enough for any project.
Law has just always been a passion of mine. It's something I've known I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. There was never anything that was going to stop me from coming to law school and from becoming a lawyer. My dad was always my #1 support. Like all good parents, he wanted the things for his kids that he could never have. Being a student that has always demonstrated financial need, it's been difficult to feel like there's been somebody to help you. And for the first time when I received this money, it felt like somebody had given me a break. I don't know if there are words that could convey how grateful and how impactful their donation was and what it's done for me. It affects me every day in everything I do, in my school, in my personal life. Knowing that we would have this money changed both of our lives. Thank you for supporting Student Dreams.
Back at TD Stadium as the Mustangs will try here with 7.5 minutes left to kill a lot of the clock. That's their main goal right now. Yannick Carew up the middle for about 4 yards. On that last play, third down play, the interception really does more hurt than harm as opposed to knocking the ball down.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, he's a first-year player. He's excited. He's in the right position. He steps up, makes sure that the defender doesn't get the ball, and it's tough when you have a line on the ball like that, not just to catch it, but ultimately in the film room, the coaches will say, honestly, like, if it hits you like that, just throw it to the ground, and because once you get that, there's also the risk of a fumble.
Whistle blows here, and a timeout will be called by Western. So Western calls their last time out of this game here with about 6:48 to go in the fourth quarter. They want to make sure everything's set, and for Laurier, their defense has done a good job of getting off the field here in the fourth quarter, and they really need a stop here, a 2-and-out for Western to get the ball back, as they had a nice drive going until that last play.
Well, they did, and this is a really big play right here with under 7 minutes left in the game, and Western can't come out here with 2 plays and out and give the ball back to Laurier. He seemed to have a bit of momentum after that special teams play. So 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7. Be interested to see if Coach Marshall here, puts the ball in the air or trusts the run game. My concern is on 2nd down, we have not been successful on the run game when we've really needed to.
2nd down and 7. Western from their own 28. Bone will likely have to throw it here. Back to pass. It's a draw play. Bone has the first down to the 39-yard line. The designed run for Bone, and he gets 11.
Well, there's a great call, I believe, because it worked to perfection. They put 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, 2 receivers to the boundary, emptied the backfield, and Stevenson Bone set up, and then good blocking up front, and they got the first down. Good call.
And now on first down, Carew has a lot of space. Yannick Carew keeps going all the way to the 35-yard line. A huge pickup for the Mustangs.
Well, there's the time when the right guard, Sean Jamieson, number 64, pulls out, leads Yannick around the right side. Great block on the backer, Brandon Calver, and Yannick hits the hole perfectly.
36 yards on the pickup there for Yannick Carew, which moves Western into field goal range. But more importantly, they can keep taking some time off the clock here, and if they can add points to that, it's a double whammy. Bone will keep it on first down. He's got a lot of space, and all of a sudden, big gaps for the Mustangs. On the running game, he gets down to the 10-yard line.
Good call by Coach Marshall there, and calling the quarterback keep on the run play. Stevenson Bone makes some good moves downfield and gets the ball down to the 10-yard line, and Western's looking at a 1st and goal from the 10.
In the last 3 plays, they've gone from their own 39 down to the Laurier 10-yard line. And they are in striking distance now. If they can get into the end zone, they'll all but assure themselves of a date with Guelph next Saturday. Bone gets the snap and gives it to Taylor, and he is met quickly. And a gain of about 1 on that play.
Well, again, Kadeem Adams had trouble, the right tackle for Western, handling S.A. Maraburi Ajufo, number 99, who does a great job on slashing down across his face and making the tackle.
Big moment in this game for this Laurier defense. If they can hold Western to a field goal, it'll remain a one-possession game. It's a 2-point convert plus a touchdown, but they're still in it.
Well, Christian, is it a run or a throw here?
I think a throw's coming. The play-action play. Wide open at the goal line was Shaquille Johnson, but the throw didn't get there. It was knocked down. He was open for 6.
Well, he was wide open, and a great defensive play. We've called his name a number of times already. Sam Montezeri, number 44, dropped back and knocked the ball down.
That's a huge defensive play because now it remains a one-possession game with a field goal attempt coming as opposed to being a 12-point lead. Medeiros will attempt. $15-yard attempt. No doubt for Medeiros, who's been good from the field goal kicking spot today. And that makes it 18-10.
Well, a good drive by Western. It's one of the few times they've gone all the way down the field, but again, not successful in getting into the end zone to get the major. And a good call for the second down play, but just a better play by, number 44, Sam Montezeri for Laurier.
Now Laurier with 4:50 to go and one timeout. Have to go and get themselves a touchdown and convert it with a 2-point conversion just to tie this game. They have to go 75 yards, and that first pass is knocked down at the line. And Fracas
injured player
was pressured, had all kinds of bodies around him, and now Richard Latouche is down for the Laurier Golden Hawks.
Well, we see a repeat of the play that just happened by Laurier's defense, and that is the quarterback steps up to throw the ball, and the defensive player gets his hands up and knocks the ball down. Good job there by either Darryl Wadd or Ricky Osikusi.
And you can see Latouche goes right down. I think he hurt his elbow there as we go down to John Urban.
Once again, Christian, the Mustangs 18 points put on the board, yet to put up a major though, and we were talking about it earlier in the broadcast, Christian, that last field goal by Zach Medeiros all but shuts the door on the Laurier Golden Hawks, but it does leave it open just that much for the Golden Hawks to try and force overtime here in the quarterfinals of OUA playoff football.
It won't be easy for them. Watch 28 there at the end. Instantly just drops holding his right elbow. Tough for the fifth-year player there out of Whitby. And now second down and 10. Laurier from their own 35. They got to go 75 yards in 4.5 minutes. The time isn't the issue for them right now on this drive. They just need to get yards. That's been the bigger issue for them today. Fracas in trouble. Fracas goes down. A pile of Mustangs there.
Well, that was definitely a sack that you can contribute and say thanks to your defensive secondary. He had plenty of protection. He couldn't find an open receiver. He looked again and again, and finally the pressure got to him. But you see here in the replay, he's looking to throw, no luck there, looking there, and finally he gets taken down by Darryl Watt and Rory Knopp.
So on a late drive like this where you pretty much need to go for it on third down, you can't when it's 3rd and 17, and they're going to punt and hope their defense can get the ball back for them quickly here. Under 4 to go in this fourth quarter. Right now they need a good kick from Peffer. And the ball is hung up. It hits a Western player, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to be no yards.
Clearly no yards, and Justin Sanvito did the right thing, rushing up there because it's being held up into the wind, making sure that he gets the no yards call.
So Western's going to have very good field position here. And Laurier,
Yes, right here. No yards. Laurier, 5-yard penalty.
Just the 5-yard variety.
First down,
If
Western.
Laurier can even get off the field without giving up points, they'll still have a long field to try and tie this game. Western starting from Laurier's 42.
Well, they're in field goal range almost.
Mm-hmm. Considering that the last Laurier drive started at their own 35, this ball's at the 42, so it's a 7-yard difference between where their last drive started and where Western starts here. It's almost like they went for it on third down and didn't get it, but the fact they lost yards on their last drive really cost them here. Bone hands it off to Haru, who's got a lot of space and has a first down inside the 30.
Well, he finally gets around that left edge behind, you know, the blocking of Eddie Meredith and Joe Cercelli on that left side.
Suddenly, holes opening up for Western on the ground game here in the fourth. That last drive where they got the field goal was really all on the ground. And here they try to run out the clock on Laurier's season. A big gainer on first down. So we tick down to the 3 minutes left here in this fourth quarter. Handoff is again to Yannick Haru, and this time he's brought down. He didn't get the first down, but he still got a nice gain of 7 yards. 2:55 to go here in the fourth quarter from TD Stadium as the Western Mustangs try to advance to the second round. They're just under 3 minutes away from doing so.
Lone Star believes that mesquite flavor don't come in a shaker. Tortillas should never be microwaved, and pico de gallo don't come from no jar. That's why Lone Star fires their grill with real mesquite wood trucked from Texas, makes freshly baked to order tortillas in their own oven, and fresh chops their pico daily. Now, if that much goes into making their fajitas taste so good, imagine what goes into everything else. Lone Star, the taste is in the details.
It's payback time.
It's not so fun when you're the target of rude behavior. College athletics has many traditions, but bad sportsmanship isn't one of them. Respect. It's the name of the game.
Second down and 3 coming for the Mustangs as Joe Cercelli is helped off the field. Sorry, Sean Jameson helped off the field. And now the Western Mustangs hoping that they don't lose a key part of their offensive line going forward as they look to advance to Guelph. Meanwhile, the Ottawa GGs are about to advance as well. They lead 46-29 with 2.5 minutes left in Windsor as they travel all the way across the province from one end to the other. And it looks like they will advance, and if Western can hold on, that means Ottawa will head to Hamilton next week to face McMaster. Haru to the outside. Haru's got a lot of room, and Yannick Haru dances his way, and he will be out of bounds at the 5.
Well, again, good blocking on the left side of the line, and the question when you're sitting here watching was whether the side chasing him from behind was going to catch him or was he going to get the corner, and Yannick Haru gets to the corner. There you see showing his speed. He gets outside, just steps on the line.
Very close to staying in to get that touchdown. Meanwhile, Western trying to get into the end zone for the first time today. Yannick Haru on first down is knocked down at the 2-yard line.
Right. Good push and good surge on the left side of the line. That time, instead of seeing Sean Jameson come from his right guard position, you saw it looked like McCain McEwen, number 53, who came in for Sean, leading the way on that play.
And now we have the big package coming in as Western needs only 2 yards to get a touchdown.
Let's hope Western's offensive line stays intact, and let's hope Sean Jamieson, the third-year player from Winnipeg, is going to be all right.
This is an offensive line made up of Ontario All-Stars. Bone under center, hands it to Haru, and Yannick Haru is into the end zone for a touchdown. And that should do it. The Laurier is looking at the ref saying that he didn't get in, or that they even have the ball, which a Laurier player does emerge from the pile with. The touchdown has been signaled, and that will clinch a win for Western here with 2 minutes to go. They're going to go to Guelph next Saturday.
Well, we'll have to see. Here's the replay here. See, the ball is given to Yannick, hits inside.
Yeah, the ball's over the plane before the ball's out. Can't really see it, but I definitely think that he had the ball across the plane. And once it touches that goal line, it's in. It's a touchdown no matter what happens afterwards. So they finally crack the end zone. It took 58 minutes, but they finally do it. And a 25-10 lead for the Western Mustangs here. It didn't come easy today, but they managed to persevere, and they really did it with their defense, Nigel.
Well, their defense really showed up here today and did a good job containing Dylan Campbell. And, you know, they had really tough field position to deal with in the first quarter, and that's when Laurier really had some chances to put points on the board. But Western's defense showed up today, did a great job, and held them to 10 points, which is really the difference in the football game.
So we saw that last week with Windsor taking an early lead, but unable to keep the pressure on, and Western was able to come back. Again today we see that Western slow starters, that's going to catch up with them, especially against a team like Guelph next week. They put up 46 points and lost to the Griffins in their last meeting at Guelph a few weeks ago.
Well, they're still making mistakes that you shouldn't be making in playoff football, and mental errors, and I'm sure Coach Marshall, as he said at halftime, is the inconsistency that the offense displayed today that is somewhat troublesome moving forward. But the key thing is you get to move forward and you get a chance to correct those.
Ball is blown off the tee here, so they'll have to get someone to hold it, and that'll be Bill Najur to hold that one down. 2:03 to go for Western, looking ahead to their matchup with Guelph. They shredded Western secondary last time they met. This ball is fielded at the 5-yard line. Ouellette is going to be tackled by a group of Mustangs down at the 20. But looking ahead to their matchup next week, they got into shootout last time they were there, but it was Will Finch under center, and it was an offensive aerial attack from Guelph that got them the win. And Western, knowing that, knows what they have to prepare for. They know their run defense is solid, but it's their secondary that has to step up next week.
Well, it is. The whole defense certainly wants to have a chance to go at Guelph's offense again, and Coach Gleason usually does a great job in the playoffs preparing his players, so I'm sure they're up for the task.
Fracas on first down. Nyhoff catches it at the 25. The AUS semifinal comeback win for St. FX. They were down late in the fourth quarter, but they get a field goal very late to win it 18-17 and will advance to the Atlantic final against Mount Allison. Mount Allison, of course, won last year to represent the Atlantic. That pass is knocked away, and it's going to be a pass interference call on Western here late in this game.
Well, Simon Brew trying to, knock the football down, jumps over top of the defender, but does collide with him, and that's what the official saw.
Pass interference, Western, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So now Laurier, they really have no chance of winning this game. A minute 46 to go, just trying to finish the season on a positive note. That's going to be intercepted. The deflection and intercepted by Simon Baru. Out of bounds inside Laurier's 50-yard line, and as I say, try to end it on a high note. There they go, throwing an interception, and Western will be able to just run the clock out now.
Well, there's still some flags being thrown. Something was going on the sidelines there, and a couple of extra pushes and shoves, and that's not a good thing near the end of a football game. You don't want to lose a player going into the next round of the playoffs, so they should be running away from that.
So we'll see what the ref's call is here. Some extracurriculars at the end of this play.
After the play, unnecessary roughness, Laurier, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So it looks like this should be the final game at TD Stadium this year, but the way that that doesn't happen is if Ottawa goes into Hamilton, beats McMaster, and Western is to be victorious at Guelph next week. It is possible. Nothing's impossible in this league.
That's right. You still got to play the games and wait till they're over before you know what's going to go on.
Now, when you look at the paper, you say Ottawa beat McMaster in the last week of the regular season, so they could have confidence going in knowing that they were able to beat McMaster, but as we see Haru gain 2, we know that McMaster didn't really have anything to play for in that game.
No, they sat a lot of their starters down, and I'm sure Ottawa is well aware of that. And Ottawa, when they go into McMaster, will know they'll have a much different team on their hands, and McMaster will be ready, and they're very well coached, and they'll be ready to play, and they're certainly the team to beat. They finished in first place, and rightfully so should be the team to beat.
Stevenson Bone, the keeper, he's got all kinds of space. Stevenson Bone brought down at the 11, and right now you're just saying you don't need to take too many risks now. You don't want to get another quarterback hurt, but
no, but it was a good play call in terms of the quarterback keeper on a naked bootleg, and tell you what, I'm impressed with number 99, the defensive end for Laurier. Again, he is the the wide side defensive end, and Essie Marubo Ajufo that time chased him down from behind and caught him, and he's been all over the field.
Laurier defensive line has been pretty good today, all things considered, but just late in this game, Western's been able to gash some big runs that have allowed them to seal this game. We tick under a minute to go now. Here at TD Stadium, 25-10 is the score. If Western was to somehow get to the 8's Cup, whether it's here or at McMaster, it would be an opportunity for them to host the Mitchell Bowl if they were to get there as well. The national semifinal, if you will. Now they've made it that far last season, only to go out west and unfortunately didn't have their best showing. You could say that. Trying to get back and redeem themselves this year, but first they have to go to Guelph against a Griffins team that's possibly doing the best that they've ever done in Ontario football. They've been on the rise the last few years, and they've made themselves known this year and made a lot of noise in the Ontario League. The OUA playoffs continue next week at Guelph and in Hamilton, 1 o'clock games. Watch them on OUA.tv.
Looks like on this play here, Western will probably take a knee, which gives Laurier the ball back with about 5 seconds to go.
And that's exactly what happens. Laurier will have one play left. See what they do as some fans start to pack up their blankets and make towards the exits. Braved the chilly conditions today to see the Western Mustangs emerge with a win. It was not necessarily the prettiest of games.
Give credit to Laurier Golden Hawks. They came in here defensively with a great game plan, and really in terms of the physical side of the game, I thought really did a great job up front. Their force unit did an outstanding job, and I don't think many of the receivers were getting open downfield either, so very good play by the Laurier Golden Hawks.
It was a very good defensive effort by them. Western didn't take the lead until the first play of the fourth quarter when Laurier decided to concede their third safety of the game on a deep punt attempt inside their own end. They'd rather just take the knee. But in the end, missed opportunities for Laurier. Some third downs weren't converted deep in Western Territory. Against the wind, they'd rather not kick the field goal. They go for it on third down. They can't convert. And as the last play of the game is run here, it's just going to be a handoff for Dylan Campbell. And that's how his year will end. And that's how Laurier's season will end, a 25-10 victory.
So Josh Woodman.
A strong defensive effort for Western. The offense wasn't at their best, but they emerged with a win, and that's all that matters in postseason action. We'll be back to wrap on Mustangs TV right after this.
Believes that tortillas should be the rodeo star, not the sideshow clown. Gotta be baked fresh, so they wrap around toppings like a warm hug from your mama. That's why Lone Star bakes those blankets of heaven in each restaurant with their own special oven. They ain't reheated in no microwave. So if that much goes into making their tortillas taste so good, imagine what goes into the rest of the fajita. Lone Star, the taste is in the details.
New improved Powerade Ion 4 replenishes fuel and 4 of the minerals lost in sweat. Powerade Ion 4 hydrates better than water. Keep sweating.
Welcome back, TD Stadium. You see the handshake line as Laurier, their season has come to an end. A season to be proud of for the Golden Hawks, as it was a team that, you know, coming off a 1-7 season, they had a lot of work to do, and Michael Falls has done a fantastic job with this program.
Well, he certainly has, and give credit to the entire coaching staff there at Laurier. They came down here after being behind the 8 ball, losing, 60-something to 20 in the first game, and then they definitely had a good defensive game plan, and they executed it well, and really did a great job today in their playoff game, and have turned their season and their program around in terms of building for the future. So credit to the staff and players of Laurier.
The Final Four is set in Ontario. Ottawa will travel to Hamilton to face McMaster. Western goes to Guelph to face the Griffins. And leading them to the win today, Stevenson Bone, and he's with John Urban.
Very much, Christian, here with Stevenson Bone, the quarterback for the Western Mustangs. It took 58 minutes to get the first major on the board, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Your kicker, Zach Medeiros, got the job done. Talk about his performance.
He did a great job. He's done a great job all year for us, and I'm glad he gets a hold. I get to see him before he kicks every time. I get a up close and personal view, but he did a great job today, and our whole team battled. And that it was a resiliency that ended up being the difference in this game.
Your only start of the regular season was against these same Laurier Golden Hawks. What did the defense do differently today compared to that Thursday night game?
They just adjusted, and they played a little bit more man coverage, and they did a good job on our receivers in the first half, and it took us the first half to adjust, but we did a really good job running the ball and controlling the clock, and we put Zach in good positions to score points, and we stopped the turnovers, which was good in the second half, so that was a key to victory, I think.
You'll go off to the semifinals in Guelph, mind you, to take on the Griffins. Last time the Mustangs were at Guelph, they lost by 3 points. What's this team going to have to do differently to not let history repeat itself?
It's just the same thing that we did today, and when our back's against the wall, we're going to battle, and that's the real testament to our coaches and our players, and I think that there's a really good locker room right now. We just got to make sure that we stay together as a family and move forward. So,
Stevenson, best of luck in Guelph, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Good luck.
Now I'm here with the Texas Lone Star player of the game, Zach Medeiros. And Zach, you truly were the difference maker. At one point, it was an 18-10 lead for the Mustangs, and they hadn't even put up a major yet. Take me through this game. It had a little bit of everything: wind, snow, and maybe a little bit of rain here and there, and the sun only poked out for a couple minutes.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult to get used to at the beginning, punting the ball into this wind. I think there's a bit of combination of snow and hail there going on. But after a while, our team battled through a bit of adversity. And, we've been doing that all year, right? Especially with injuries. And we bounced back second half. We came out. The veterans stepped up, including myself and the other fourth and fifth year guys, and we just got the job done. And again, the offense put me in the perfect spot to hit those field goals.
I believe you actually hit your longest of the season so far from 49 today.
Yeah.
Did you feel like the coaching staff was playing little games with you though? They kept moving you back and back and back, but you were making them.
No, you know what? It's that's just the way it falls. Throughout the season, I think my longest was probably in the high 30s. And, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Especially with an offense like ours, sometimes you're going to stall within that range, right? But it's nice that they have trust in me, and that they obviously trusted me to hit around that range. All I got to do is, connect and do my job, so they can trust me some more down the stretch.
Just talking with Stevenson Bone there, you guys will go to the Griffins Center to take on the Griffins for the semifinals. You guys only lost by 3 points the last time you were taking on that opponent. The kicker could be a big difference in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Last time we were in golf, he actually had a chance to win the game, so hopefully the roles are reversed this time around.
Zach Medeiros, the Texas Lone Star player of the game. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, back to you in the booth.
Thank you very much, John. So for the Western Mustangs, it's the defense that wins it today and special teams. Medeiros had a great game kicking the ball. And if there's a chance, they could come back here 2 weeks from now for the Yates Cup. It could happen. You never know. That would be our next home broadcast of Mustangs football. If not, it'll be next year. And it's been a lot of fun, Nigel. If this is the last one, I think it's been great. So for Nigel Wilson, I'm Christian Mellon. For John Urban and the entire Mustangs TV crew, thanks for watching Mustangs football.